And we're live.
Wow. Hey. Hey everybody. Oh my god, I was taking the sip and I wasn't ready for it. Oh my gosh. Hi. Welcome to Broadcast Esports. Excuse me. Boys, ew. Estrogen, please. Welcome to a very special episode of Beep here on the Broadcast Beep channel. My name is Saf. I'm going to be your host tonight, and I'm joined by a phenomenal panel. Like I have no words. Like I'm over the moon to be here. I'm over the moon to be your host tonight. I have Grace, Rissa, and Mizuno on the horn here, and we're gonna talk about a lot of stuff this evening. Grace, how's it going?
Um, it is going so well. I'm getting over being a little bit sick, so if my voice sounds a little shot, it's not my fault. No, but I mean, obviously, I love women in esports. I love Splatoon in general. I've been here for forever. I started TOing. I'm gonna hit 6 years TOing. I started in January of 2020, so I've been
Whoa.
here through better and through worse. But I'm very happy to be here. And I'm just so happy to be here. You know what else makes me really happy? Is Rissa being here too. Ooh, segue!
Stop it! Oh my gosh. Okay. Hi, my name's Rissa. I'm doing great.
Tail. There's an animal in the background. Sorry, I saw a tail.
Oh yeah. That's my cat. I'm sure she's gonna jump up here any second. For those who don't know, I'm a commentator in the Splatoon community, was a comp player. I've been commentating since 2017, started in Splatoon 2. I actually started out, everyone knew me initially as a Twitch streamer, and then that turned into commentary, and then it turned into comp and still commentary. So yeah, excited for, like Grace said, women in esports and women in Splatoon in particular.
Mizuno, tell us about yourself. You guys are getting ahead of me. I was gonna be like, hey, introduce yourself. Tell us about your experience. Tell us about you. And all of that.
We know the shindig at this point.
No, you're jumping the gun on me. This is great. Mizuno, guys. Mizuno.
Hey everyone, I'm Mizuno. I've been around since 2019, ever since I jump-started the whole CCA and Purdue University club esports teams over there. So I tap nonsense, sub power up today, and just mostly staying in the little collegiate sphere that I like to take care of every now and again. And it's a lovely place to be, and it's also a lovely place to be here as well. Seriously, I was like thinking about this all day today. Literally at my computer at work, I'm like, beep, beep, beep.
Like getting work done, but also like I get to chat with the girls tonight.
Exactly. That's what we were all looking forward to today.
Yeah.
That was me too, honestly.
For all of you folks out there watching too, like there is a lot of experience on this panel. There's a lot of knowledge. There's a lot of work. I want to say there's a lot of work that's been put in by these three individuals. I'm not going to even talk about myself. There's a lot of work put in.
Girl,
these
you got to talk about yourself here too.
Okay, fine. Okay, so I'm Saf. Hi. Very similar experience to Rissa's story. I started out as a streamer and was streaming Splatoon quite a bit, and then it kind of blossomed into a bunch of other interests. I'm the creator and owner of Kensa Cup. If you know, you know. I started TOing for some things. I am a TO for Sea Battle, which is the Seattle local. I do a lot of commentary. I help out on the Splatoon tourney side of things with the admin, being an admin for that team for broadcasting. And also I'm a host there sometimes. So just a lot of different hats. A lot of different hats. And actually, girls, show of fingers for me here. Which game did you start with?
Competitive. Hold on. What do you mean?
No,
That's a loaded question. Oh,
General. Just generally speaking, the
General?
first game that you purchased for your system, what's the first one? Wow! Okay, so all Splatoon 1 here. All Splatoon 1. That's so cool. Okay, yeah, no, we're old. Really, speaking to the age here. Really speaking to our age here. Okay, with a show of fingers, where did you start competitively?
We're aligned. Oh my god.
Wow. Okay.
We're in sync.
Okay, very cool. Show of fingers, which game did you start commentating? Wow. Okay, very cool. I feel like honestly two is kind of, I feel like, where things really started to come together for a lot of like organizations being formed and like tournaments being created and people getting streams together and asking for commentators and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so one thing I want to like tell you guys actually is so this all started, the idea for a women's panel for me started when I saw a tweet from our very, very near and dear photographer, Blue Rose Tori.
Mhm.
And thank you, CKK, our broadcasting host today. If we could potentially pull that tweet up right here. So if you can read that, you might not be able to tell, but there are 5 women and femmes commentating in this picture. And this was at Riptide this year, you guys. So this is on the Smash side of things at Riptide. So exactly, if Riptide can do it, what's your excuse? And so it was this tweet that like sparked it in my brain that I was like, you know what? The Splatoon community also has a lot of really cool women and femme presenting folks that are getting super involved in commentary and TOing and a lot of other things. And I know we already kind of shared on the experience, and like Rissa, I'd like to go into a little more detail with you about this. Can you tell the audience, tell us kind of like where you started, kind of your journey through getting into esports? And this doesn't have to be Splatoon related. I'd love to know, like, where did you start with esports? How did you get into Splatoon? What was kind of your progression through it? And then like, where are you now?
Okay. All right. Let's take it back here. So when I think about it, I've always played video games growing up. I started playing like Sega Genesis, Dreamcast, mostly like Sonic games, and then just kind of was doing that all through when I was younger. And then when the Switch came out, no, not the Switch, hello. The Wii U. No, the Wii. What is it? Wait, what is
Wii?
it, you guys? The Wii. It's been so long.
Oh my god.
My
The
back is
Wii.
broken.
I saw Splatoon on there and I was like, that game is really weird. I just genuinely thought it was weird looking and I was like, what is that? And then
She says in a Splatoon chair.
I know, right?
Oh.
Splatoon is my life. Well, maybe I am weird, you know? That's another story. So I actually had a hip surgery. I've had a couple hip surgeries, and my first one, I literally was so bored, had a Wii, and went the night before my surgery, picked up Splatoon just because, I don't know, on a whim. I was like, this game is weird, but something's telling me to go buy it. So I went and bought it. And then as I was recovering from my hip surgery, I was playing that, and that was how I was passing the time. And then I got addicted. And then it wasn't till right at the end of Splatoon 1 that I realized there was even a comp scene for it. I was like literally just running around with the roller, just like painting things and thinking it was fun.
As
And
you do.
then, yeah, right. And then, so Splatoon 2 came out, I got into that, and then once I realized there was a comp scene, that's when I started, like, really diving into that. I was like, "Oh, let me try streaming on Twitch," you know, the classic. You get set up on Twitch, you start streaming, and then
It's a pipeline.
It
It's
really
literally-
is.
It's a pipeline. Like,
The classic, like, thought process of, like, "Oh, I'm always playing this game. Why don't I play it for other people?" And then you just... And I'm a yapper, so like streaming like worked well for me because I could just yap to everyone and I
You
could
get
really
on
yap.
a
speaking to Grace
spiritual
there.
level.
Yeah, Grace
Yeah,
just
oh.
clutched her pearls a little bit there.
You don't even know. Oh, somebody listening to this right now is going, "Oh, yapper. Oh, I know a yapper. Oh, I."
You're just...
It's a problem. It's a problem. So I understand. Yes.
Yeah, you get it. And let's see. So yeah, started getting actually pretty big as a streamer in the beginning of Splatoon 2, and then Genesis 6, I think it was. Genesis
And what year
6
was
or
that? What year was that?
20... I don't remember if it was G6 or G7. I went to both of them, but whichever one it was 2017. And that's when I just like on a whim applied to commentate because I was like, oh, I like talking. And then they put me on, they picked me, and then that kind of started that whole pipeline of becoming a commentator. And yeah, and then it turned into I really got into being a comp player as well because I felt and still feel like this, even though I don't play comp right now. I feel like being a competitive player really helps the commentary because you actually can get in the minds of what these players are doing. And
Sorry, I am gonna snap like it's a coffee house if I agree with something.
please do.
Okay, I am gonna do that.
Oh, wait, yeah. Slay.
Yes. Exactly.
But yeah, it helps you like know, as a commentator, how these weapons work, how you want to play against them, how the strategies work, blah blah blah. And so I got really big into comp for a while. My goal was to get to Div 1 in Ludi, and I did that. And then after that, a lot of my friends really just stopped playing comp, and I kind of stopped playing as well. But still would love to play comp, love playing competitive Splatoon. It's so much fun. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at now. And now I still get to commentate, which I'm really thankful for because yeah, I love commentating Splatoon. I love it. That's kind of it.
And you're good at it. And you're
Oh my
good at
God.
it. By the way,
Thanks.
just to point that out there.
Thank
Just
you.
to throw
Thank
that out
you.
there.
Needed that.
Which Rissa, just for I think I'm familiar, but just for the folks at home, can you remind me what teams you played on when you were like in Ludi and when you were like really in the thick of it? What were your teams that you played on? Because maybe some people back there might recognize some of these names.
Yes, I'm sure a lot of people will recognize this name. This was like the first team that I really got big into was Day Old Sushi.
Oh no way, I didn't know that.
That's throwing it back. I love
way
it.
throwback, right? Because they're still going. They're still a thing. Day Old Sushi, for
Heck
those
yeah.
who don't know, it's like a server of players who are 25 and up, and they have a comp team as well. So it's a lot of 25 and up people who hang out and play and have fun. But there's also a comp team for it. So that was my first comp team, and then I was on a team called Temptation. With a lot of notable players right now. There's Red Shell, Shiny,
Yes, I remember.
Henry, and this other player named Uzi who's not playing right now. But yeah, I played with them in Temptation, and then it turned into I made a team called Vivid. With
Yes, I remember Vivid. Yes.
We had Tenta, Prosper, Eclipse. Kara was on the team for a little bit, and Roomba. So those are like the main teams that I was on.
That's awesome. I remember Vivid very. Sorry, I was literally gonna be like, I remember
vividly.
Vividly, and I was like, wait a minute,
Just do it.
Yeah. Okay,
Just do it.
Yeah, I was like, I remember that team because I remember we did get to stream you on Ludi Tonight like at least once or twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I do remember that, and I remember I was like, Rissa's on that roster.
Rissa's
on the roster.
Slay. Representing
cool.
the ladies.
Yeah, no. Yes. Thank you for saying that. Grace, same questions. Can you tell me about where you started? Where are you now? What's your experience with everything? And I mean, by the way, Grace and Mizuno, CCA gauntlet holders, CCA organizers, players, everything. Just like if the collegiate scene is well represented here between Grace and Mizuno. So Grace, kind of give me the lowdown.
Oh Lord. Well, it started many moons ago when I was playing. No, I'm kidding. Well, I was playing Splatoon 2, and do y'all remember the Plaza post where people would put their Discord server like the
Oh my
slug?
God, I did that.
Yeah. And
Yes.
you'd get in trouble for that. You're not supposed to be.
Yes.
But I saw one, and it was like join our clan, like join like a cute little thing, and it was called Floaters. If anyone recognizes that, you need to message me immediately, and we need to be taken out back. Because that's a throwback. That's crazy. But so that was a cute little clan. I like became like a mod or something. I was like 14. Like I was really young at the time. But then from there, like it became another clan. Eventually down the line, it hits like 2019-ish, and I meet Hoenn Hero eventually from this server.
Of all the
And-
people.
Yes,
The
and
Hoenn.
eventually, and there's a few folks who it was like Floaters Astronomy. There's a few people who were like, oh, I might recognize Grace.
Astronomy? That is
yes.
also a throwback.
Yes,
Whoa.
yes, exactly.
We got the throwbacks today.
No, exactly.
A lot of
And-
experience in this call right now. There's a lot.
True.
I was in there from the womb. I was in there. But so I don't remember why it happened, but I remember I was in the low ink server because it was just the low ink server at the time. There was no IPL. It was
Mhm.
January 2020-ish. And low ink had staff applications open. And I was like, well, I like Splatoon. I like playing. I'm like a mod in this little Discord server. I think I'd be a good tournament organizer. So I apply and they accept me. And I'm a TO for months. Then the pandemic hits. It may or may not have been caused by me becoming low ink staff. We'll never know. Anyways,
It could have been a factor we don't know.
it could have been. We'll never know. Anyways, so months down the line, I'm TOing low ink, and then eventually the low ink folks, Kraken and Hoenn, and all the lovely folks who did low ink stuff, were like, "What if we make a tournament organization? There's like a tournament drought. There's no tournaments happening. It's like only low ink and like Jerry's Crown Cup, which that's a huge throwback if you remember that.
Oh
tournament.
my God. I
You-
competed
Yeah.
in like one of those. I did like one of those way back when.
This is at the same time too. Okay, so I'm thinking like pandemic, right? I'm thinking at the time
Yeah.
that a lot of people are like unemployed, which is a very like dark time for a lot of people,
yeah.
right? Like
Mhm.
unemployment, just kind of trying to go through the motions, trying to deal with being really isolated. And I feel like this was at the same time that ink theory was also a thing. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember ink theory also running during but it wasn't during like pre-pandemic. I don't know. What do you consider like pre-pandemic was kind of like the tail end of 2019, and then I feel like proper pandemic hit us at like I want to say like February, March 2020. That's
Yeah.
like when it was like proper shutdown where we're all isolating, things like that. And I remember, ink theory was around at that time as well. Okay, continue. Sorry, I'm just trying to create a timeline for you.
No, yeah, it's happening. All the cogs are turning. So they decide to form IPL, and because I was an active low ink staffer at the time, and I knew the lovely Sky the Demon, if that's also a little bit of a throwback name
Oh,
there.
Sky.
We
And
love
Sky still goes to Riptide. Sky still goes to lands, I believe. I believe I
Yeah,
did
yeah.
see them
Yeah, they're
at
still around.
2025. They're still around. They still go.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And they were collaborating with also a throwback name, Astrocities. They were both
Oh,
great
yeah.
TOs, and Astro was like, I want to help make a weekly for this new organization that's going to be formed, and they're going to be making a bunch of tournaments. So they bring me on as a little friend, and we help develop SOS's branding, which then becomes Swimmer Sync, and like the logo and all that fun stuff. And from then on, or I guess I should say, I then became a head, and then we were 3 head TOs together. I think it was like November. So my other anniversary is also coming up. But
Aw.
yes, so I've been in here for a while, since 2020. And this is kind of semi recently, but well, I guess I should talk about my player stuff too. Gosh, Saf, it's such a can of worms. I was a
Right.
player on Up the Ante, which was a lower level
Yes!
team. Who
Oh, I remember that team.
Oh.
Who then
The
was,
Ante!
I mean, amazing players like Toes, Juice, Emily, Lemon.
It was
those
Toes
are my goats.
specifically. I was like, up the
Toes?
ante, Toes. I
Yes,
remember
yes.
Toes.
No, a lovely people.
Yes.
I still talk to them. They might be playing Splatoon together right now. They do like Splatoon on Thursdays. I love them. Amazing group of people. I was on Hidden Radiance of the Dawn for a little bit, which was
I remember that too.
Skepadillions' team. A big fan of Skep.
Wow.
That's
And then
crazy.
from there, I like did some like pickups and all that. And then like Splatoon 3 was starting to come out, so I was like, oh, I don't really know what I'm gonna do. And then I started at Drexel University. And then I helped not helped form. There was already the formations of a Splatoon team starting, and then I saw that somebody had talked about Drexel, and Magic 8 Ball messaged me and said, "Girl, aren't you going to Drexel?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So Magic 8 Ball is the reason I'm here today and alive. No, I'm kidding. But with all of that, I started doing collegiate competitions. I think we started out as Div 2 in CCA, and now we're Div 1. We've been doing really well. We tied for 17th at the most recent Riptide, which is nuts. So I've been making strides as a player. I've also commentated a lot. These past 2 years, I've especially been commentating. I made it a goal that I wanted to get better because I really love it. I love yapping, and I like making people laugh. So I like to kind of bring that style into commentary as well. But as a tournament organizer, which is what I am first and foremost, I think it was 2 years ago or last year. That's really embarrassing that I'm forgetting. But Kraken Mare eventually retired as the co-director of IPL with Hoenn Hero. And Hoenn was like leading the ship alone with the rest of IPL leadership, which I'm on and was on at the time. And we're a big team, but it's different to have somebody who's your direct partner helping you lead this entire
Right.
organization, right?
There is
So-
like a tier list to it, right? Not
Yeah,
like in
yeah.
a derogatory way, but like there is like there's
derogatory.
well, I don't know. Some people think of hierarchy and they're like, okay, like F the man kind of thing.
Yeah.
But this isn't in like a derogatory way. Like there is like there's a lot of cogs in this machine.
Yes. Yeah, IPL is very like people do their things and sometimes they come together for stuff too, but it's like we all work pretty independently too. It's very interesting. If anyone ever wants to know, it's very interesting in there. But I remember we were having a meeting and I was running, if anyone lives in Philadelphia, because Drexel's in Philly, I was running across like the Vine Street Expressway, like because there's like a light right there. It's a very wide street and there's like a lot of cars coming at you. It's a little scary. And I was walking home from class and it was late at night and we were talking in this meeting and Hoenn Hero said, I think I kind of want another co-director and I want somebody to step up and lead IPL with me. And I, at the time, had been running SOS for years. You know, I was a player. I was like emerging a little bit, coming out of my shell a little bit more over the years. And I was like, I think I could do that. I think I'd be kind of good at that. So then I unmuted myself and I went, I'd be interested. And immediately, hopefully this isn't too bad that I'm leaking this. And immediately Popgun went, yeah, I vote for Grace for that. I think Grace would do really well. And I had like this wave of like validation.
Yeah, that would be really
Aw.
validating.
No, I was
Oh my
like,
god, a popgun
nice.
validation right off the
Yeah.
bat. Like,
Yeah.
whoa.
no, exactly.
That's a high honor.
Exactly. And I was like, you know, I'm a little bit of an introvert. Like I'm on the shyer side. So to have somebody like I felt very seen. And then like everyone else also in the call was like, oh yeah, Grace is like the obvious choice. Like, yes, of course. Yeah. And then eventually it was like, okay, I talked to Hoenn about it. We talked back and forth. And Hoenn was like, yeah, I think you're the person for the job. And then I got promoted to be like co-director of IPL. And I remember announcing it. And Magic 8 Ball, shout out to Magic 8 Ball, was like, Grace has a good head on her shoulders. And the whole time I was just like, guys, this is so crazy. Oh, this is so embarrassing. But no, so I've been helping lead IPL for a bit now. I've made it a really big goal to be more approachable, I guess. Like I want when people think like I don't really like where this is going, or they're like, I want to give some feedback about this, that they think, oh, Grace will listen to me. Oh, Grace will talk to me about it. And I think I've gotten better at that. I'd like to say, hopefully. So that's kind of my trajectory. That's where I'm hoping to be too, especially going into next year's and stuff. And with running 3 super jumps and all that, I want folks to feel like you can talk to me, and by extension, you can talk to IPL. So that's been like the biggest thing.
My heart, to be honest, my heart is like fluttering right now because I don't know if people know that half of the IPL conglomerate like co-directorship is half female.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, I never
really?
even thought of that.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, like obviously, it's not a secret and it's not an elephant in the room, but like the Splatoon community, like we are really our own bubble of players, TOs, everything. Like we're kind of our own bubble of a community, but it brings me a lot of comfort to know that one of the largest tournament organizations that runs so many events, there is a woman sitting on the co-director chair.
I do be sitting. I'm sat.
And that to me brings me a lot of comfort, and I really hope that there are other feminine presenting women, whatever, any Hoozle people. I hope that brings you comfort to know that like there is actually somebody in that chair that does want to perform and act in your best interest. And I
think that's a great point.
Yeah, there's something really powerful about that. Grace, thank you. Wow.
Of course.
What a journey. Mizuno. Finally, Mizuno.
Oh man.
Mizuno was one of the first people that I asked to do this episode with tonight. Because as soon as CKK was like, who do you want on? And I was like, at the front of my mind, like there was don't get me wrong, there was a lot of women that I thought of for this that I was like, who do I think would be a really good panel to have here as like the first time having a women panel here? And Mizuno was one of those first people that I thought of. So Mizuno, please, where did you start? Tell us your journey, take us through, and where are you now?
Oh my goodness. This journey starts in 2019. Freshman Mizuno was on campus and responded to some sort of gaming group call out where I just happened to stumble upon a bunch of Splatoon people, namely Magic 8 Ball. And for folks who aren't aware of Allie, Arcanagon from Crustacean Crusaders, was also there. And a couple other folks. Yes, throwback, right? So there was, I believe, 4 of us there that day. And we were like, wait, I wonder if this is actually a thing. Can we start a club? What's this like? Turns out you need 5 people to start a club. So my lovely boyfriend, who I'm still with to this day, volunteered to be our 5th because he was head of the Overwatch club at the time. So he was like, hey, let me help you out. I know how it works and how this whole thing happens. Bada bing, bada boom. We are the second, let's make it clear, second collegiate organization ever to exist for Splatoon. UCSD unfortunately takes the crown there. Or fortunately. Anyways, I have beef with URF. That being said, with the guidance from Magic, we also got inspiration to start a competitive team. And that's Sub Power Up at today, but formerly known as ITAP, Inkling Technology at Purdue, was formed. We just had a dream and a basement to work off of. We would play in like a computer lab and just make do with what we could at the time because we had no resources, no anything, and we just had to build from the ground up. I think the biggest claim to fame for ITAP was probably some of our low-ink performances and that one Riptide where we showed up in matching esports jerseys and choked a 2-3 against Assault and Pepper on stage for it was so hype, but we choked it. But we still like, oh wow, the scrappy collegiate team actually like showed up. Whoa, what is this? So that was a very empowering feeling to take into the following years. During this time, Magic and I were the president and treasurer, respectively, of the Splatoon at Purdue University Club. And we basically worked our entire time there to continue to foster the collegiate community there, which is something that I'm really proud of as a legacy that Magic and I and the others worked really hard to leave behind. And then at that same time, during all of this, while we're still competing and running this club, we get this idea with the folks over at UCSD to go, hey, wait a minute, there's got to be more than just 2 of us. It's 2019. Splatoon's been around for like 3-4 years at this point. There's got to be more of us out there, right? So then we celebrated 5 years, but in June of 2020, the CCA was born out of just another dream between 2 schools who thought, oh, what if we just shook hands and tried to see if there was other people around? And
the CCA stand for those that might not know.
That is a great question, Saf. The CCA is the Collegiate Cephalopod Association. It is the premier grassroots organization for all things collegiate Splatoon. And the big dream that we had, and still hold to this day, is to unite collegiate students and whatever means necessary. And we have grown from just 2 scrappy collegiate teams to now over 150 collegiate teams across North America. We've had multiple Canadian teams. And it's probably one of my biggest prides and joys, honestly, like the little badge of honor that I have. Like, wow, we have been able to help grow and expand Splatoon on the collegiate esports level. And almost kind of similar to Rissa's path. As I've gotten older, priorities change. I've stepped a little bit back away from competing, and a lot of my focus has been towards running the CCA. So ever since its formation back in 2020, I've been one of the co-founders and co-heads. So it's been a huge ship to run, but it's one that I'm happy to run every day, any day, and I couldn't be doing it without some of the folks around me in the CCA. So I always will speak highly of it because it is literally like my baby. It's like my little baby I keep carrying with me all around everywhere.
Phenomenal. Once again, I'd like to talk because in terms of if we want to kind of use the same vernacular for IPL, if you're like a director of the CCA, I'm guessing that the other half of you in that is DRF. Is that right?
Correct. Yes, we are the two co-founders and organizers, but I will want to point out there are multiple other women as well as non-binary and other queer folks on our leadership board. Honest to God, I think 75% of our staff body as well is either female presenting women or on the LGBTQ spectrum as well. I think that's also another pride and joy that like our staff, honest to God, is the best out there. Not to dunk on IPL or anything, but I will fight for my CCA staff every damn day. They are some of the best.
Say it. Tell them.
They're some of the best people around. They are the troopers. And I say I run the CCA ship. No, these people are keeping this community going. They're some of the best people around. I want to take that moment to say that. So, and I honestly, same goes for the folks at IPL as well. There are so many people in these organizations that keep things running that you just don't think about. We're the ones that are thinking about it, all of us. So I think that's very important to make clear. Like these people are putting so much effort and time and care into the product that you're seeing and playing on today with your not just your collegiate team, but with your team in general.
1000%. 1000%. And also, actually, that reminds me, Rissa, you also had an experience TOing Genesis.
I did. It's
right?
like
okay. I was like, I don't want to speak for that, but I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure.
No, I did.
You did that. Yeah.
I actually TO'd Shine first with Siren.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Shine.
I forgot about Shine.
I remember Shine.
Yeah, and that was really. It was. I mean, hats off to you guys who TO. I cannot do it. I'm one of those people who's like, I cannot do this. However, I do like the fact that it gives back to the community, and that's like, you know, those are the people, like Mizuno was saying, those are the people who create this space for the community itself. So I did start TOing Shine, and then I TO'd Genesis, the most recent one with, you guys will never guess it, Magic 8 Ball. Magic 8 Ball mentioned from all of us.
I'm starting to notice a trend here.
Right.
He's also my coach, by the way. He's also my coach.
I think we should start a counter. Like, how many times could we say the words magic or Magic 8 Ball in this stream? On a stream that is specifically about women.
Honorary woman.
I know, we're just talking about Magic 8 Ball. Yeah, Magic is honorary woman, I guess, in terms of this episode.
Wait, can I make a point about this, actually? I think there's a reason why we're all mentioning Magic 8 Ball here. And I think it's because he's one of those people that help lift up everyone around him. And in any way that he could help lift up and enable people, you can count on someone like Magic 8 Ball. I think that's why we're all saying his name today.
Absolutely.
Wait, I also want to gas up Magic 8 Ball because I'm not going to say specifically what the situation was, but IPL stuff happens. There's a few firestorms. You already know how it is, especially with Swimmer Sync. Again, I'm not going to say which one, but Magic. I don't know if he currently still lives in Philadelphia, but I live in Philly. Used to live in Philly. He used to run locals there as well. And there was a situation, and I was not handling it very well. Like there was a lot of blowback. I wasn't feeling well. I was like, I feel terrible about this decision that we've made. Like I feel so guilty, right? Like I feel awful. I'm a very sensitive girly, so it's not that I take feedback personally. It's just that I really want to make it better. So as soon as I know I made a mistake, I'm like, we need to fix it, right? But, I needed to sleep on it. We needed to, think of a thoughtful kind of statement to go with that.
Clear head, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But that night was really, really rough for me. I was so anxious. I felt so sick. I felt horrible, and I was talking to my teammates about it, and Magic, still my coach at the time, was like messaging me, and he was like, Grace, do you want me to bring you like soup? Like I could like bring you like a meal and you could make you feel better. And I was like, Magic, you're so sweet. No, don't worry about that. But again, like Magic has always been one of my biggest supporters. Whenever I need advice about esports, anything, he's always in my corner. He dare I say, he is the biggest women enjoyer I've ever in my life. And that's why I really like him.
I hope he's watching right now.
I think so. I think Magic is here. He made it a point on B Sky. He was like, look at this lineup.
He did.
I will be there. So yeah, honorary woman, Magic 8 Ball. Wow. Okay. I guess should I?
Sav, the floor is yours. It's your turn.
Okay.
Get up there. Get up on your soapbox.
Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm going crisscross applesauce. Crisscross applesauce right now. Okay, so for me, I started playing the game Splatoon 1, just like all of us, which wow, I really do think that our spread from those questions is really interesting because we all are very similar in like our start date.
It's crazy.
So I'm kind of similar to Rissa. I saw the trailer. Well, actually, no. Yes, I am similar to Rissa. I was like, wait, is that? Yeah. So I remember seeing the trailer for Splatoon in a basement at my cousin's house. And it was like a direct, or I don't think it was called a direct at the time. Whenever it was announced in like the 2014, 2013 era. And I remember when this game got announced, I was like, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And it's Nintendo's take on a shooter, and it's paintball, and like there's squids. Like, what is this? And I was like, and me and my cousin, and like everyone that was in the room at the time, we were all like, we have to get this game. Like, what is this? This is so strange. And so we get it, and we start getting into it. And gosh, I mean, throwback. Remember the gamepad?
Yes.
Don't remind me.
It.
Cut it away.
I loved clicking the strikes and feeling like I was exploding.
Yes, I agree with you. Like looking, and you have like the map to launch the strikes at. No, I totally agree. But I remember like really getting into the thick of it of that game, and I was like, this game is like they're onto something here. This is gonna be big. This is gonna move mountains. There's really something here. And like me just being a baby, like, and not really knowing how to play, didn't even know that there would be, like, obviously I could assume that there was a community that would form out of this. But then it wasn't really until the coattails, I guess, if you will, because Splatoon 2, let's be honest, was out for a little bit longer than it should have been before 3 came out. There was a very, very big gap, multiple year, if you will, until Splatoon 3 came out. And so it wasn't until the coattails of Splatoon 2 that I was like, okay, yeah, I want to stream this game. This game is everything. Like, there's so much good stuff here. And like, I'm just so happy that Nintendo finally, the big N, decided to do something with this, because there is a lot here. So they did make a second installation. They made a third installation of the game. There's something really good here. So similar vein, started streaming the game, hosting private battles, playing in the gauntlet that is solo queue, trying to stay in X rank, getting points, playing League, running into like the like top level players randomly in League, or playing really late at night, and then all you get is people from Japan, and you're just kind of like, okay, let's just keep trying. Yeah, let's just keep trying, I guess.
That's crazy.
And I remember, actually, so I feel like you guys have been mentioning Magic 8 Ball as a big inspiration from you.
Oh, yeah.
My inspiration for getting into commentary is the one and only Falco Flyer. And that is because Falco was on Ink Theory one time when I was unemployed. And I was trying to be like, if I want to start watching Splatoon on Twitch, I have to make an account and, try to get involved and learn. And then I started watching Ink Theory. And on the microphone was Snowpoke and Falco Flyer back in 2020.
Ooh.
And I was like, wow, I want to do this. This is so cool. Like, I didn't even know this existed. And to think that there was so many other esports out there that are so much bigger than us, like Goliaths compared to us. thinking like how exciting it would be to try to get involved. And very similar to Rissa, I was like, I just want to talk. I just want to talk. I just want to get better. And I feel like I've been that kind of person my whole life. I'm just someone that loves to chat. I love community. I love just being in the space with other people and sharing it. And so I was like, this is the right path. Started streaming, created the tournament that is Kensa Cup, which was a Kensa weapon only tournament that I ran by myself and had no idea what I was doing. Never tournament organized in my life. Was just like, why is there not a tournament just based on this line of weapons when there's like 20 of them? Like, it's so unique. And there was, and if you're, in case you're wondering, yes, there was a team that was all K-shot, okay? And they made it a point. They made it a point to be all K-shot, and I believe I ran the tournament, I want to say 2 or 3 times. Still, like, just knowing nothing. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. The first tournament, I think, ran for like 6 hours.
Listen, I think the first SOS did either, so you're not too far behind.
That's okay. We have those sometimes. It happens. It happens.
But I remember it was after that stint of the first K-Cup where I was like, this was so long. And I want to tell you, I was not only running the stream, but I was also commentating it. Because I did not know that you could take the village and have the village build the tournament. I did not know that you could do that.
Wait, that's literally what like Hoenn Hero and Kraken Mare used to do for Low Wing too. So if you think about it, you are Hoenn Hero, and you did actually found IPL. If you think about it.
Okay. Yeah. We're still back. Okay, I'm back in. I remember Falco private messaged me, and he was just he was being so kind and asked me just like, do you need help with this? Or just kind of like, what could we do to make this easier for you? And so Falco, I feel like, is the one that created the Sheets.io system. And I could be totally wrong on this. So like, please
I could vouch for him popularizing this. I remember even several years, like a couple of years ago, like I think I was featured on Splatoon Tourney, and he was showing me how like the Sheets.io stuff worked out. Like this has been going on for like a couple. I think he helped popularize the use of Sheets.io. So I think that's a credible statement.
Okay. Thank you for validating me on that one.
I got you.
So he created a dashboard for me for Kensa Cup.
That's so nice.
Yeah, and I was just kind of like, we don't even know each other, and you just like went out of your way. I remember he literally was like messaging me. He was like, I'm at the bar right now with a beer, and I'm making the Kensa Cup. I'm making the Kensa Cup dashboard right now on my laptop.
Oh my god!
And I was like,
my god.
You know, I was like, again, we don't really know each other, but it's the commonality. The common denominator is the love of the game and wanting to create a thing for people to enjoy.
Real recognizes real.
Yeah, and so that was just really wonderful to me, and like I collaborated with him on that. Kensa Cup ran a little bit. Him and I got to know each other a little bit better, and I don't really know a lot more of the details in between there, but I remember trying to get into commentary as well, and trying to be like, where could I try to fit in? Where could I try to do this? And I tried like doing a myriad of different things, and putting in a lot of effort to try to commentate more, and just trying, you know how it is when you first start. Like you say a lot of the same things. Sometimes you kind of trip on your words. You can't really find the right filler. Also, just like working with new people too can also be challenging, especially when you're new. That can be really hard, and just trying to see like what's my style? Who do I work well with?
Chemistry.
Like the chemistry is really important. And so just trying to kind of navigate that gray area took some time. And then finally, Riptide 2022 came around. And it was like, okay, let's get commentators to apply. And so I threw my hat in the ring for that one. Didn't think I was experienced enough to get it, and I got picked. So that was really exciting. And I got to commentate with Devi, which shout out Devi. Yes, see? Thank you.
I was thinking about her the other day.
I think about her every day.
She's such a sweetheart.
Just
Hi,
yes.
She
the
is.
goddess. Ugh, I love her
And
commentary.
too.
yes. And I got the chance. Well, Falco, I know you're in the chat right now, so I'm so sorry. I am going to talk about Friday Night Frenzy. I am going to talk about Friday Night
Oh,
Frenzy.
yes.
So when Falco put together Friday Night Frenzy, I kind of tried to help on the back end a little bit, just like with what I knew. I was commentating sets for Friday Night Frenzy, I think the third installation, while I was abroad in Thailand.
What?
So it was 10 a.m. for me in Thailand, and it was in the middle. It was the nighttime back in the U.S. for Friday Night Frenzy,
What?
and I was like on mic doing. I did like maybe 2 sets, I think.
You were locked in.
That is
Yeah.
like lore drop. What the heck?
That is.
Yeah, right. I was dedicated to like not only hone my craft but like the game, and I was like I brought my laptop with me when I went abroad. I was like I don't want to get rusty. I need to like this is a commitment that I made that I want to get better at. And don't get me wrong, like I did enjoy my time in Thailand. Okay, I didn't just think about Splatoon. Shout out to Fusion. I FaceTimed Fusion in Greece.
That's amazing.
Fusion is like, why like you're more worried about MomoCon than you are like on your show. Okay.
Oh
Anyway,
my god. That's
But-
funny.
trying to hone my craft on Friday Night Frenzy, and I was commentating with Devi, and at Riptide 2022, I got to commentate with Devi again, and I was obviously so nervous because like the first time you get to commentate at a LAN, it's like whoa.
It's
Like
a
that-
lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And so just trying to feed off of somebody that is so experienced. And then I was also in a really, really dark place in my life at that time. I had just gotten, I'm really going to be vulnerable here, but it's because I'm with the girls, okay? And CKK.
And CKK. And Magic 8
Yeah.
Ball in spirit.
Yeah, and Magic 8 Ball. Magic 8 Ball is actually like right here. But I was at a very, very dark time in my life when that happened. I not only was I really sick, I was really ill at that time at Riptide, but I had just left like a very important relationship to me, a very like formative relationship, and so I was heartbroken at the same time. I was very heartbroken. I was very tired. Because like you know how it is when you're at Riptide. You're staying up really late. You're hanging out with your friends. You're getting up to shenanigans. Like that's just how it goes. So very tired, very sick, very heartbroken. A lot of these factors. And I got on the mic with Devi, and I was honest with her. I was like, "Hey, like I not only am I nervous, but I'm just not in the right headspace to do this. And I'm going to really try my best to keep up with you." And she was like, "Hey, don't worry about it. Like it's going to be okay. We're going to be fine." And I was like, "All right." Like I was in good hands. And that block was definitely not my best. I was trying my best. And also cause like with LAN, it's different. You have to, you kind of have to keep the flow going. You can't just like take breaks with online tournaments. You have to keep it going. You have to keep the banter going and just keep talking. And so when it got to that point, like I did not feel my best, but you know what? I came back and I commentated Riptide 23. And I really thought that like at that point that it was over for me. I was like, that block was terrible. Like I'm not going to get asked back. Like there's just no way. There's no way they're going to want me to come back and do this. So not only at LTC 23 did I get to commentate at the desk, but at Riptide 23. And then like I just got to I kept getting invited back. But in between all of that too, I was also like putting in a lot of work. And so flash forward to now when we talk about the NA League, right? And like the privilege that it is to try to really get recognized for getting into something like that. And I remember after that heartbreak, I had, it's a whole thing. Like I had to move home. I had to get a new job. Like there was a lot of changes in my life that I had to kind of navigate while also trying to still keep involved and keep up with everybody. And when I moved home, like I'm not kidding. Like when I was talking about and like announcing like the involvement in the NA League, like I'm serious. I was sitting on the floor in my room. The TLDR, a tree fell on my mother's house and there was a hole in my ceiling. Everyone's fine. Don't worry, everyone's fine. But there was a hole in my ceiling, and I was sitting on the floor with my laptop on a shoebox with my headset on, commentating CCA sets. Because I was like, just because my setup is now different doesn't mean that I want to stop doing what I'm doing. And I'm gonna keep doing it. And I was sitting on the mic with Toma on camera, and you could see that I was on the floor. Like, I don't know if you could really tell the angle of the camera,
We're gonna watch it. CKK, bring up the clip.
It was a while ago. I don't remember the event name. I don't remember the event name, but it was CCA stuff, and I stayed dedicated. I kept putting in the time. Which, like, I know that the three of you know how that is when you want to get on something and you want to do more and you want to get better and you want to keep being involved and be active. And so I kept doing that.
One of the things I like about Splatoon is, like, I don't know, if you have IRL stuff going on and, like, everything's kind of falling apart around you, you can always just come back online to doing whatever whether it's TOing, playing the game, commentating, you just come back and it's almost like a welcome distraction, or it's like something that almost like keeps you going and keeps you motivated when everything's like falling apart around you. So I totally know that feeling that you're talking about.
Yeah, and it was a really, like, heavy time, and just also trying to navigate all the changes, but knowing that I wanted to stay fresh and just keep going.
Stay fresh.
Yes. And so and that eventually evolved into, once again, Falca Flyer. That evolved into Falca Flyer being like, we should make, like, a broadcasting org. Like, he was like, I'm done TOing. I didn't like it. It wasn't a good experience for me. But he's like, but I love production. Yeah, he was like, I love production. I love the broadcast side of things. I love bringing in the talent. I love that side of it. So he's like, I want to try to do something with this. And then thus, Splatoon Tourney was born. He's like, we're not TOs. I don't want to TO. I just want to give a platform for people to do things. And so Splatoon Tourney kind of became its own Goliath in a sense. And, you know, like, we are involved with CCA stuff. We help out with CCA streaming and bring commentators on. Falco's brainchild is Ludi Tonight, because, again, it's kind of like sorry for you sports people out there, or I guess really to the girls. But it's kind of like in the same segue as, like, football. And when the football season's happening, he's like, Ludi Tonight is like our league. It's our league to do that. And he's like, and I want in on the action. I want in on that. I want people to see that. And it doesn't matter what division it is. You know, like, we'll go all the way down to Div 11, all the way up to Div X. Like, it's like, he's like, I just want to cover what's happening at all these skill levels. And then thus Ludi Tonight was born. Ludi Tonight has now ran, I think, for 3 seasons total, if I'm not mistaken, which I can be corrected. And so now it's just this broadcasting hub, and I got really into the admin side of things. So kind of similar to you, Grace and Mizuno, like, got really into the admin side of things, got really into putting together talent, putting together the stream schedule, the run of show, getting to, like, be on the back end. And for me, like, that was also kind of like Rissa, like, you kind of just stop streaming at a point, because you're just like, this back end stuff and the commentary, like, the outside of it is what is bringing me joy. It's what's making it fun for me right now and keeping me involved. And so Splatoon Tourney came about. And then doing all the stuff for Splatoon Tourney and getting to, like, be involved in that and still honing the craft. This is under all of this, like, the commentary craft saga is still going with all of this happening. And getting to, like, host and getting to learn how to broadcast. I got to be a broadcaster for the latest season of Ludi Tonight, the most recent one. I got to be the broadcaster and be the host for that. And trying to, dude, people that spec cam, wow.
Dude,
It's an
that shout out spec cam operators, because I could not do that.
It's a skill.
It's hard.
Yes.
It's a talent. I think we need it's a talent.
It is.
It's a talent. It's
Like,
really hard.
As a commentator, I won't even notice something as I'm commentating, and then the spec cam operator will just go to something that's happening, and I'm like, oh, in the back of my head, I'm like, thanks, spec cam operator, because I didn't even realize that was happening. They just like, they're crazy in a good way.
They really are like your eye in the sky. They're your third eye being like, okay, what you're saying is great, but hold on. What's going on over here? What's in this corner that's happening right now? And you get to kind of touch it, which is really great. So like getting the broadcast, like I feel like I've really gotten to put my fingers in a lot of pies with this. And like not only that, but like, you know, staffing for stuff with IPL as well. Like I am on the late and great Proving Grounds. I got to be a staff member for Proving Grounds
I miss
when it was regular. It's, girl, I know.
It should come back.
I loved getting to staff for Proving Grounds. I loved getting to pick out the talent for Proving Grounds because that tournament was always really great. And then like, you know, getting to commentate for different things with IPL as well. I got to help out with some Super Jump stuff, being on commentary for Super Jump as well. Shout out to you, Grace and Toasty. Shout out.
And Kira.
Shout out.
Women.
And then
Sorry.
and then it gets to a point where you reach like it feels like you reach a higher level of commentary before you even realize it. Before I even knew it, you know, I was like applying to commentate at Riptide, commentate at LTC when LTC was a thing. And one of the questions in that application is like, what's your experience? And you reach a point where it's like, I can't even like list everything. You know, it's like, it's to a point where it's like, I can't even list everything. And at this point, it's like, I feel like the people that are looking at these applications actually know what
they
I'm
already
capable
know,
of.
so you don't really need to.
You're that good.
Yeah, you reach a point where it's like you've already done so much that it's like they already know. And you keep getting selected for these things. And so getting the opportunity to be asked about the NA League stuff, which I know Rissa can also speak on this. It really takes you out of it. Takes me back to sitting on the floor with the CCA sets. It's like I know that I worked for this. I put a lot of work into this, but it doesn't come into full perspective until somebody is asking you that question if you want to be involved. Because right up front, you know, you're like, why me? And sometimes you can't help when that thought comes up, right? It's just like right there, you're kind of like, well, what did I do? And then I'm thinking about that girl sitting on the floor commentating CCA sets, and I'm like, no, she deserves to be here. She put in the time, she put in the effort to do this. And also, again, like a couple years or about a year ago, actually, a year and some change, if you will, C Battle TO. So there's the C Battle stuff in the background as well, and bringing community members together as a TO for a public space.
In person, that's another feat, right? Like you guys can all speak to in-person events, being there, seeing behind the scenes. That's not just a day of. There's all the stuff that happens before.
Totally.
And that will play into things on top of battling what's happening in your day-to-day life, trying to keep up with all the extracurriculars you're trying to do in the Splatoon community. And then on top of that, add an extra layer, add Riptide, add Sea Battle, add a Collegiate Land. Collegiate Land, there's a whole cesspool of God knows logistical nightmares there. All these different things, that adds up to that, to, you know, that culmination of experience that you're speaking about, Saf. And it's significant.
It all stacks on top of each other. And really culminates into this one thing. And so it's nice to hear your guys' stories, because it's like it's not only I don't know, like we can all agree that there are a lot of spaces where women really tend to struggle. And I'm not saying that like we're the only demographic of people that experience this, but it's like I do feel like sometimes we do have to work that little bit harder to get to where we want to be sometimes. And I know that like in the esports realm, in other esports, like there's some stuff that's not so savory that's said about things. And just there's a discrepancy sometimes.
Yeah, I've wanted to branch out actually to commentate other games, and every time I think about how the other games communities are towards women, I'm like, I don't have the mental capacity to deal with putting up with that. So I always just end up sticking with Splatoon. It's just because this community is so welcoming towards us. So
And I'd like to hear a little more about that too. Like what, I guess, if you could commentate another esport, what game would you gravitate towards? Just regardless of community, just like an interest, what game would you gravitate towards?
I like seriously looked at commentating Smash in particular, just because I like the game, and yeah, I haven't done it yet, but that was like the one I was seriously considering, and just still the community itself, it can be icky towards women, so but it's gotten a lot better recently, as we saw from Tori's tweet at the beginning of this, so yeah.
That's such an interesting question, honestly, because I've never considered that. I think that's also part of my own video game experience and journey I went like growing up. Like I never really played like any other multiplayer games, you know, or like competitive multiplayer games like Splatoon or like you know, Smash or any of these other competitive games. So I don't have an answer for you, Saf. I got nothing. Grace, what would you do?
Ooh, okay. I guess I didn't mention this in my lore section, but I'm also very involved with my university's esports club. I'm the marketing director, and I have been since I was able to run for it. Um, yeah, I'm also one of two. Okay, so with like collegiate esports, there's like Div 1, and it's not Ludi Div 1, but that's like the first team, so it's like Div 1, Div 2, Div 4, right? So I'm one of two women who are on a Div 1 esports team at Drexel. There's only two of us. And overall, I think there's like about I ran the numbers before. I ran the numbers
Cite your
before we got here.
sources.
We have 13 total. I use the term non-men because there's like gender fluid, non-binary, someone who isn't male presenting here. And there's only 13, and we have over 100 players at Drexel Esports, and that's just one college,
wow.
right? And 5 of those are Splatoon. So that's like
Oh, wow.
pretty big. We have like 9 titles, so that's like a pretty big margin.
Whoa.
All of that to say that I love collegiate esports a lot, and I love esports in general a lot. I'm studying to get a minor in esports, which is crazy. Like we have an esports
Girl,
program.
We have those?
cool.
I
So
love that,
I care a lot
though.
about it. But
That's so
if I were to
cool.
pick another game, I mean, I liked Marvel Rivals a lot when it came out. I like the
Ooh.
vibe. I like I really I just think it's pretty easy to pick up, and like I saw a lot of people gravitate towards it, kind of similar to when Valorant came out, and a lot of Splatoon players gravitated towards that as well. And also I understand what's happening in Overwatch, so I would also
Okay.
gravitate towards Overwatch a little bit. And fun fact about Overwatch and Valorant, they have a series called the Aurora series, which if anyone in the chat recognizes that and they're like popping off right now, like I'd be surprised. It's for marginalized genders in the collegiate space
Aw.
for Overwatch 2 and Valorant specifically. They like discontinued it, but then they got picked up by a league that would be able to support them financially. So this is like really big, cool news, and I'm really happy about it. But I feel like Valorant, as much as people dog on Valorant and Overwatch, I feel like they're really, really trying to push against the infrastructure of like anti-women, kind of. Like they're really, really trying. And I'm seeing that and I'm feeling it. So I think I would probably gravitate towards one of those spaces to commentate.
Very cool. There's
That's cool.
so as we know, there are so many other women in this scene that we could just gab about. And you know, a lot of us here on this panel, we're kind of more on the commentary, more I don't want to say like social maybe is the right word, but like we're the more maybe charismatic in like being commentators. I mean, not just like in general, but like in being commentators, like really able-bodied to put ourselves out there in that way. And I also want to say that like there's so many incredible artists out there that are women. There's so many incredible tournament organizers, commentators, artists, just players even that we could go on and on and on about. And I know Mizuno actually mentioned
Oh my god.
that she was thinking of some people that she would want to like talk about and speak on.
Oh, yeah, I prompted this earlier. I was like, hold on. We can't be like a women's panel without talking about other women. We already gave time to the men earlier. We already talked about Magic and Falco. Boo them, you know. We don't want any testosterone here. Let's get rid of that. Let's talk about women. So I'll start us off then. I even wrote down a list. Like that's like I took time, like I took 5 minutes to sit down. I'm like, there are some influential women in this community that I think about and just like and what they mean to me and like what I appreciate about them, right? So I'm gonna start off. Actually, we mentioned her earlier, Kira, Kitsune Kira. Folks may know her from IPL, heavily involved there with Super Jump. But many of you may not know that she's actually also a head TO at the CCA as well. She brings such a wealth of experience and care to tournaments and making sure that everything goes smoothly. Everyone is treated equally and fairly. And she holds me, DRF, everyone around her up to very high standards because that's what she wants to deliver. She is an incredible person, an incredible TO, and an incredible woman. And I think she deserves her flowers. So that's my person. All right. Popcorn it. Rissa, do you have someone?
I want to shout out someone I mentioned earlier. Shout out to Siren because
yes.
yeah, she is just constantly, she's a commentator, she's a player, she's a TO. She does it all and she's like me, like I tried TOing as for example, and I was like, nah, I'm good. I don't play right now, but she's literally been doing all three of those things for like a few years now. And it's like honestly really inspiring to me just because like since I've been like, oh, I can't do that stuff anymore. Just seeing that she still has the passion to do that stuff and she does so much stuff behind the scenes for LANs, like for Riptide, for Genesis, even when she helped me in Magic, like for literally every LAN, she helps up behind the scenes and she does so much and just yeah, it's just really inspiring to me
and
to
she's
see
firm.
what she does. Yes. Yeah,
She's firm.
anytime I'm not a firm person, like I'm like I like bounce around if there's a problem, but I'm like I tiptoe around it. Tiptoe, that's the word. But I'll be like Siren, and then she'll just run up and like be the muscles and be like, what's wrong? I love her. So shout out to Siren.
I can't agree more. I like couldn't agree more. I don't think that there are some tournaments or LANs that would have like ran as good as they would have without her.
Absolutely.
Because, and I also think just in terms of like also crowd control, she also really cares about people's safety. And she makes it a point to care about that. And so, yeah, I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more.
Yes.
Grace, is there somebody just on the forefront of your noodle?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna do 2 players because I don't want to forget either of them.
But that's
Zenith.
good. We haven't even talked about players yet.
Yes,
So
very true.
thank you.
Zenith and
Yeah, I do have some.
Basil, huge inspirations for me. I mean, I've had conversations with them both in private. They're both very, very sweet people. I mean, Basil, I love backline queens, and Zenith, frontline queen. But I remember I had this really long talk with Zenith, in DMs. I think it was last year, like maybe around this time last year, and Zenith was like, because I was talking about like what can IPL do for top level, what can IPL do for high level, and I was like, we were thinking about doing a league, and Zenith was like, you should run more super jump. And I was like, really? I feel like, but like, there's not a lot of teams at top level. Like, wouldn't a league help with that? And Zenith's like, no, not really, because they want to test out their synergy together. And that's where you do that at a major. You don't do that by sticking with the same players for months and then you don't really click. And I was like, oh, okay, wait, that makes a lot of sense. And then the following months, I was like, guys, I know we've pitched it before, and I know it's rich coming from me now that I'm so inspired by Zenith, but we should do more super jump. And I remember everyone was like, and we have been doing more super jumps as well. And Basil has been so sweet to me. I mean, I met them both in person at Riptide. I told Zenith especially, I was like, Zenith, you inspired us to make super jumps. And Zenith was like, Grace, you're so cool. And then I burst into a million flames because I was like, oh my god, Zenith thinks I'm cool. But no, I love women who slay, and I love when they play and they play so well. So I love them both. So I couldn't pick. So that's why I said them both. But Saf, you have to go. Popcorn. Go back to you.
Popcorn. Yeah, toss it. I would like to shout out somebody in the artist community.
Yes.
So I feel like we've touched on every facet, right? Like we've touched on a player, we've touched on a tournament organizer. I want to touch on an artist here. Oyasumi Luna-chan. Luna
Mhm.
has put in incredible amounts of work, not just in her own community and stream and brand. She is the creator, along with Jazzicorn. Jazzicorn also gets her flowers. Her and Jazz are the ones of the creators of the Riptide Trading Card Project.
Love
The
it.
Riptide Trading Card Project has grown from like almost single digit number to like, I believe last year, in chat, please correct me if I'm wrong, there was 37 cards, 37 cards you could collect at Riptide this year.
It's incredible.
3 years. That a culmination of 3 years to get that many artists involved and people that want to do this project, which by the way, I need you guys to know, the artists pay for their cards to be printed, and they give you them for free.
For the
Mhm.
love of the game.
That
Just
needs
for
to be
the
said
love of the game.
louder. That needs to
For
be
the
said
love
more
of the
frequently.
game. Yeah, they print their cards. They pay with their own money to get their cards printed and to hand them to you at lands. So that is an incredible conglomerate of people that Luna and I'm shouting out Jazz too, don't get me wrong, but that's an incredible conglomerate of people that Luna has cultivated and put together for a project like that.
Mhm.
And again, it's the creativity that this community has. That's a whole other can of worms. The creativity that this community has with the love and care that they have for this game that they put into it. Like, at what point would you have been like, yeah, trading cards?
Never would have
Like,
thought of it.
It just, yeah, you're like, yeah, okay, totally. Like, you think of a community and you think of like, there's so many different things. Like that bubble, that thought web is so huge. And it's just the things that you can do with this game have just surprised me at like every single year, every day of like what people try to put into it. I mean, gosh darn it. Like, look at where we are right now on Beep. Like,
We're beeping it.
This whole thing is here.
we're beeping it. Like, this is a whole thing in itself, creating a space like this to get to chat, which is so cool. So yeah, thank the women in this community, femme presenting people in this community that do this, because a lot of them are in leadership. A lot of them are the people that you look up to. A lot of them are on that roster, that commentary roster that you want to be on. A lot of them are women, and a lot of them are people that put a lot of work in. But let's shift it, unless we have more thoughts. I kind of want to shift our topic and our conversation. We've been talking for almost an hour and a half here just about women, which I love. And also,
Are you serious?
we have been talking about men too, though.
A little bit.
Which
a
is
little
okay.
bit.
Which is okay.
little
People
bit.
inspire us. Yeah, just
Before we move on completely, I want to shout out one more woman who I love so much.
tell them.
And something that's very important to me is highlighting women of color in the community, especially Black women. 1,100%. Sasu in your pants. Lovely, lovely person, and I love her so much. She was the one, if y'all saw it, Riptide, with like the beautiful pink dress, like
Pink
ball
dress,
gown.
princess, ball gown.
Oh my
yes.
gosh. She came up to me after Moonlight beat the crap out of us at Riptide, and she was like, "Oh, I love your makeup. Like, you're just so," and I was like, when a gorgeous girl calls you gorgeous, it's over. You know what I mean?
Me with Rissa every
Yeah.
time.
Oh, with everyone here. Oh, wrong way. Everyone here. But yeah, like she's a girl's girl. She's an amazing commentator. She's always popping off on social media. Like I love her so much that I want to spotlight her because I love her vibe and I love her personality and I love women.
At the end of
Period.
the day.
Period.
And I think another person, I'm already like, okay, well, let's just keep talking.
One more.
Like, well, this
One more.
person, and this person,
Well,
and this person.
I think and I don't want to get too, I guess, down the rabbit hole on this, but I think there's another woman that I would really like to shout out, and that is Rose of Battle.
She's on my list. I'm not kidding. I'm so serious.
I want to shout out Rose, not just because of all the work that she's done and the space that she has created just with her streams and just as herself, But Rose is also a huge advocate for a lot of issues globally and also in this community. She's a huge advocate for things. And I appreciate that I feel like I will use the term bravery. Like, she has the bravery and the gumption to like speak out on stuff. And I appreciate that she does that, because I also feel like there's times where like she will post some things that I'm like, I agree with this. I agree with this and I align with this 100%. And I just feel like she takes a lot of care in her words and how she presents those issues. And like, and I mean like serious issues, not just like in our community, but like beyond us. I really appreciate how she presents that information. And so I want to give a shout out to Rose of Battle as well for that. Let's chat NA League a little bit. So we had the preseason, 2 weeks of preseason, right? Which I know that we've probably beaten that horse on here.
Oh God.
Already. But let's talk about preseason week 2. There's someone in the room with us actually that got to participate in that. And also I want to kind of mention maybe week 1 a little bit as well. We can chat a little bit of that, kind of talk about the highlights. We also can absolutely meander back to talking about people in the community that we really care about and want to highlight, because it's important and people need to know who these people are. But Rissa, I want to pass the baton back over to you. Can you tell us and speak on your experience, not only once again commentating, but also commentating on such a big stage for something like this for our community? Because we can all agree, like, this is a very big opportunity, not just for our community, but for the players, for the commentators, for everyone that gets to be involved. Our friends that get to spec cam, even. We get to see our friends shouted out for spec camming, which is incredible too.
Yes.
So can you kind of just speak on the bigger scale, the bigger stage, getting to commentate on something like this, and also just your experience in general with trying to keep up with analytics too?
Oh my gosh, there's so much to like delve into, I guess, for this, just because it's so cool that we're getting this opportunity for the community from Nintendo themselves, and like it's almost like surreal to me still, like even though it's already started, there was preparing for it. It just like I still don't, it's like the thing where it's like pinch me, am I dreaming? Like I don't know, it just doesn't feel real still to me. It's just so cool that the community is getting this recognition from Nintendo, and yeah, it's just really awesome, and getting to commentate for it too. I actually said that I was panicking, kind of like backtracking a little bit. I got to commentate grand finals for Riptide, and I was actually
did.
Yes,
you sure did.
Stop. But I was actually freaking out. One of the main reasons I was freaking out about that and like nervous before that, and that kind of leads into the Nintendo events too, is I was like, oh my gosh, I'm representing all the women, non-binary, like everyone like that, and like in this big space, and I was freaking out about making sure that I represented everyone good, just because I remember, like Saf was saying, like when you're a wee little, you know, seedling trying to grow and get pave your way in the community, just like you have those people that you look up to. So I was actually not even nervous about like doing it, I was just nervous about like representing everyone good, and that carries into this too for the Nintendo League as well, just like that same premise of making sure that I represent the women.
Right back. Rissa, keep talking.
Okay. Women and non-binary people and everything like that as best as I could. So yeah, I think it's just really cool that I am getting this opportunity, and I have got to work with Nintendo before, but this is just, I don't know, it's just such a big scale event just because there's so many people in our community involved. And yeah, man, I don't know. It's overwhelming to me in a way still. I feel like I won't even like know that I'll still, like months later, I'm gonna be like, dang, did that really happen? That's just crazy.
Yeah. What's been the most surprising thing as you've been going through this whole process?
Oh, that's a good question. Kind of actually, now that I'm thinking about what Saf said before, one of the most surprising things to me has actually been kind of not that you're required to learn all of the weapon names, but
Mm-hmm.
it is
Highly encouraged, highly
Yes.
implied, highly
Yes, yes.
suggested.
yes, exactly. So I don't know if you see it here, but I literally like wrote down tons of sticky notes
Yeah.
to commentate for Nintendo for preseason 2, and I literally have them all on the bottom of my screen here just so I could like look down really quick and be like Rapid Blaster
The
Pro.
Comet Blaster.
Yeah, Rapid Blaster Pro, WNTR. Like, who's gonna remember all those letters like that? I think that's probably the most interesting, surprising thing for me, is just realizing that, oh my gosh, I don't know all the names of all of these weapons in this game. Hello?
No, that's
Like,
especially new with the third kits. I'm like, you could tell me it's
Yes.
anything and I would believe you.
Right. Literally same. I don't know why in Splatoon 2 it felt like so much easier to remember all the weapon
Yeah.
names compared to this game. I don't know what that is. Not sure.
I don't. They're trying to be special with it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just a thing. Man,
I know. I think
weapons.
maybe one thing is, I don't know about you two, but did you guys used to play in PBs with your friends all the time in Splatoon 2? Did you
Yeah.
guys do that?
Yes. I
Yes.
love doing fake Splatfest. Like we would like pick the cutest colors and we'd be like, it's a Splatfest, guys. Like we would play that all the
That's
time.
so
yeah.
cute. Hide and seek. Sweaty
Yeah, I feel-
PBs.
Sweaty. Oh my god. No, that would be like the theme of Grace, you can relate to this too, but like we would have the club meetings where we would have like different themes each week to get people to come back, right? Because you eventually like you can't do PBs like, oh, you just sweat it out forever, because you're gonna lose out some of the folks who can only come maybe like once a month or once every couple weeks because of timing with their classes or timing with other things, academics, what have you. And so we would encourage like, oh, we'll do like bumper brush, like mini game, like
Oh my
games
gosh,
like
yes.
bumper brush, or like oh my gosh, what was the special Splatoon 2 where you like go into a ball, like a hamster ball? How could I
Oh,
forget?
yeah.
Baller.
It's sort of just called baller.
Yeah.
Guys, we're ancient. We're as like old as the hills. We can't even remember these names, and it's simple. It is as simple as like baller. Joke, but point being, it's such a good way to like foster like having like unique different events
Yes.
to like bring people out, because not everyone's gonna like the same silly PBs of just like, all right, just sweat it out, gamers, and like fight for nothing for like 3 hours straight. That's gonna kill people.
Mhm.
Fight for nothing.
No, literally, you're
I
fighting
hope
for
you're
nothing.
hungry for nothing.
You're literally just fighting for the clout of your friend group. Like, I'm the best one
Seriously.
in the room.
Listen, I'm telling you,
Seriously.
it's the love of the game. We actually at Drexel Splatoon, it was like last spring, so not this past one that just happened, but the other one. There was this really sweaty gamer in the the casual Splatoon meetups that would happen at Drexel, and the person who leads those meetups, a very lovely woman, Mackenzie, she was like, yeah, my friend is like, he like sweats like really hard, like he kills everyone in all the PBs the entire time. He should try out for your Div 1 team. And I was like, nepotism strikes again. Get him in here. Get him in here. And he's cracked and he's still on the Div 1 team. And again, like we're 17th at Riptide, y'all. Like there's the pipeline.
Damn.
The nepotism pipeline.
Oh
Nepotism is Splatoon nepotism pipeline.
Oh, but yeah, where I was going with that originally, I feel like doing PBs all the time in Splatoon 2, it was like so easy you were always just kind of messing around with weapons, or everyone played the same weapon, like some random weapon that's not played a lot, so you kind of knew the names easier. But now in Splatoon 3, we're not doing like fun PBs all the time anymore and stuff like that. So feels a lot more difficult to learn all these weapon names for that reason. But Saf, I was talking about Mizuno had asked like what was something that was challenging or that was just like interesting that came up, and I was saying how learning all of the new weapon names was like,
oh my God,
actually really challenging for me for the league.
And thank goodness that only like 2 of them are used.
Right.
Thank God.
Could you imagine
5H.
like trying to like 2 whole lines of weapons with like at least 10 things.
Mhm.
Like Could you imagine if we were just like, forget everything else, let's just use this stuff, and like having to not only learn like the names, but like all the acronyms, all the specials, all the subs, which it's like,
Yes.
can we just talk about like actually how hard it is to remember all of that? But then
It's
at the same
definitely.
time, I'm kind of like, some of us remember like 6 gens of Pokemon.
that's true.
You know,
I like to
so
think of it as the exposure effect, right? Like if you expose yourself to that weapon like maybe 3 times, maybe you'll get it down. Like how like you see the same Pokemon like 3 times, you go like, okay, it's like crying out to me like Pikachu. Okay, it's in my head now.
Yeah. Totally.
Oh my God. Well, that's a challenge, Rissa. That is very brave. And I'm sure all the other commentators are going through the same experience of being like, crap, what weapon is that again? Is it
Right.
like Frozen or like the silly acronyms at the end? It's like, it's cute, but like, stop it.
Yeah. Right. Totally.
just all the little like nicknames too, like trying to remember, because you don't want to like say the whole weapon name, which I think is so niche about our community as well. The fact that we have like abbreviations and acronyms for so many things, because it's like, obviously to the casual listener, they're not going to know what the heck you're talking about.
Mhm.
Or just, yeah, like they're not going to know unless you're like in it. But at the same time, I feel like that's also what makes our group very like peculiar and special, is that like if you want to get into it, you have to commit. There's some commitment you have to make to try
Mhm.
and like learn all these things and be up to speed with the vernacular.
No, that's so
Mhm.
true. I like something that comes up a lot in like because I'm in collegiate esports spaces is they'll be watching Splatoon and they're like, this is too fast. Like I get that a lot, a
Oh
lot. They're
yeah.
like the game like it when you're coolered up and you immediately respawn, they're like, oh my God, like how do you keep your brain running like that? And that's kind of like it's like a big switch, but it's also it translates pretty well to other games too. Like I feel like a lot of Splatoon players don't really realize this, but like you're like geared up to play like another shooter. Like you could crank out
Mhm.
like in Counter-Strike 2. You could do really well in like Marvel Rivals because you already have that in your brain where like the cogs turn really really quickly. Like Splatoon is it's such an interesting esport. Like it is so quick. It is so specific and like interesting. Like watching it like no one else has clan blitz. Like
Yeah,
people
all
will
the
watch
game
clan blitz.
modes.
Yeah, and everyone's like, "So is this the one where you paint the floor?" And I'm like, "No,
That's all
this
of
is
them.
the one. This is the one where you get the ball, the little things to get the big ball." And they're like, "What are you talking about?" And that's really funny to me.
Oh my God. It's so, oh my God.
I know, having to explain Splatoon to somebody that is like a novice and they don't understand, it's like you paint
Mhm.
floor and get points. You ride tower, which is like carry the payload to the goal. Like I
Yes.
remember sitting at Riptide and there was Smash players that
Oh
came
my
in to
gosh.
watch our grand finals, by the way.
Mhm.
They came in to watch what was going on because those freaking clappers, dude. They care, the sound carries so far. And so they came in and they sat and they were watching the tower game and they were like, "Is this like move the payload?" And me and my partner turned around and we were like, "Yes." And like explained some things to them, and then we were like, "Yeah, you know, King of the Hill, that's Splat zones." Like we had to try to like bring different vernacular in to try to
Mhm.
like make a comparison so that people would understand.
Mhm.
And I feel like in actually going forward and trying to explain these things to people, like that is kind of the way that you have to do it. You have to relate it to something else that's in a different esport to make sure that they understand it. But even with having to do things like for like Nintendo's way of doing things, like you do have to stick to a couple different words. Like they really do want you to try to be specific about how you talk about some things. They want it to be like very much pertaining to the game. Um and using the right things. So like you don't say death, you say splat. Uh and so on and so forth. Like there's certain language and vocab that they want you to use, which I find really interesting because it's like that is how you're gonna like kind of bring people in and maybe immerse them a little bit
Mhm.
into that world. But speaking still on some NA League stuff, this week in particular was pretty interesting. I think currently in the preseason stuff, from what we were seeing,
Mhm.
and just I think in the regular season, and I also think like with the ladder stage and kind of how stuff transferred from the ladder, we have the group 5 sitting at the top, and they are just above Milky Way. And remember, Milky Way is like titans of the industry. But if you take a look at the bracket, if we're looking at the bracket from the regular week 1 season, I'm just blown away to see Duck Motif in the top 3.
Yeah.
Because, like, talk about a team that has, like, been in the top level sphere for a while, and the fact that they're showing up for, like, first and foremost into this league, and in the very first week, they're coming out with a bang in the 3rd place spot, with Moonlight sitting in the 5th spot, and you have Hypernova, no less, sitting in the 7th spot, and Hypernova, I mean, gosh, has been running some circles around Moonlight, and Moonlight came back in this first season week and just absolutely, like, flipped the script. And that goes to say, like, not just about, like, the players in general, because obviously the player, like, Moonlight is a fan favorite for so many people involved, and the players there have so much experience, but also you can speak to the coaching because they have someone like Prochara on their side trying to give them pointers. And like how to move and how to act accordingly. So this first week of the regular season has been really exciting, to say the least. And we haven't seen the FT Win folks jump in just yet. They chose to play in the zone instead.
I'm very interested by that.
Yeah, they chose to play in the zone 46 instead. And if I'm not
did anyone see what roster they had for in the zone? I was gone all weekend, so I didn't see.
Ooh,
they played with a mix of people. Yeah, they played with, so Kyo, Biscuit were there, and then they had Yoshell and Gray join them.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
A little bit of shuffling there.
Yeah, a little bit of shuffling there. So you have half of FT Win participating, and then you bring in other titans of industry. Thank you, CCK, for bringing this up.
Oh, beautiful.
Wait, are we on? Is this the CCA one?
No, that's the right one.
No, it is right. Okay. Sorry, we're looking at in the zone here. Sorry, it's just I was looking at it from far away, and I was like, "Is this the right bracket?" Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay.
If you think about it, Super Mario Galaxy 2 could be a collegiate team name if they locked in. So
probably could. Oh my gosh. I think that's what this shows, like, for the first week being done for like the NA League. I think it just comes to show like there's not like a clear, I don't think there's a clear like top 3 to me. Like I think it's such an open field at this point. And I think just because the longevity of each event it's astronomical. They're playing, if you want to get to like your grand finals, play ladder, and then get all the way to grand finals, you have to play at least 40 games. I counted Milky Way's run. I think it was like 43. Yeah. That is a lot of Splatoon, even for the best of the best. I'm going to be for real. Like after like 3 hours, I'm going to be gassed. Being able to do, right, like you plateau, Grace. I mean, you know, from Riptide, from your traumatic experience, right? Like you're going to plateau quickly, even if you're at like your at home, like optimal setup. Like, I don't know. This is just a very interesting revelation.
And you're going to plateau. Like
exactly. What else are you supposed to do? I mean, it's just like, it's 6 hours practically of Splatoon. It's going to be a lot. So honestly, it might be a good call for some of these wins, for these teams like FT Win, to like kind of like ease up on the gas pedal, show up on in the zone, and like swoop in later when teams are going to start getting burned out. I feel like that's actually going to be a serious factor here. I don't know if people are talking about it like that, but that's my take.
Yeah, that makes. I was watching the Popcast on Monday, and Popgun brought up a good point about how, like, say you, and this happened the week that I was commentating. The team, who was it again? It's all a blur. I think I have it pulled up here. Okay, so it was Free Flow sent Hypernova into losers, and then
incredible, by the way.
Yeah, and then it was crazy. It went to a game 5, and then Hypernova came up from losers, winning losers finals, and then beat Free Flow. So then that caused the bracket reset. So
oh my God.
and then Hypernova beat them in the bracket reset. So that like the endurance to be able to play that long is something that I didn't even think about. Like just Popgun brought up that I thought was a good point to bring up too. And it's not even like you were saying, Mizuno, not even just the day of, but also throughout the entire league. That endurance that you're gonna need is like just
every
crazy.
Saturday.
Yeah.
If you're gonna commit the time, it's at least like 5 hours. Or and assuming that people are like scrimming and practicing beforehand. So like maybe let's add another hour into that of just like dilly-dally. So that's like 6 hours of Splatoon every Saturday for this league.
Yeah,
That's a
crazy.
lot of Splatoon.
It is.
I love Splatoon, but that's a lot of Splatoon. Oh my god.
So
I
then
saw
at the end of
your
this,
other responsibilities on top of your other responsibilities.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and then at the end of this, it's like it's almost like, is it going to be a test of endurance, like you were saying? It's just, yeah, I have no idea who the top 3 is going to be. There's a lot of even playing field, I feel like.
Yeah, I want to talk about Duck Motif a little bit too, because I mean, I'm always like, I have a soft spot for teams who still make time to play in SOS, even when they reach big.
Fair. No,
Wow.
that is so fair and so real, because like, especially something that happens every single week, and the fact that you still like, no, so real. Please speak, please.
Yeah. And I think it warms my heart to see folks like stack up SOS badges. I know people are like, oh, people like badge farm, but like it warms my heart that people keep coming back and that there's something that brings them back to SOS. So I love that. But Duck Motif, they did play in SOS this past week. They they made it to the 3rd place match, and then they dropped because they were like, we forgot there was a 3rd place match, which is really funny.
Oh my gosh.
But talking about them in the NA League, it was Super Jump 6, unfortunately, overlapped onto the preseason, like the first kind of vibe of the NA League. And Duck Motif played in both Super Jump Day 1 and the NA League, which is insane.
I forgot
I
about
don't know how
that.
many hours that was.
Yes.
They cinched their spot in Alpha Bracket and then just started playing in the ladder for the NA League. Like they eat, sleep, and breathe Splatoon.
Are you serious?
They were locked.
You're not pulling our leg here, right, Grace?
No, it's real. That's real.
Yeah,
You're not
I
pulling
remember
our
seeing
leg,
that.
right?
It's
Yeah, I
very
remember
true.
seeing that.
Yeah, they committed the time to keep playing.
And again,
That's-
they secured their spot in Alpha, which means that they didn't lose any sets in Super Jump, and then they immediately went into the NA League. So it was just they just locked in, and like they did super well too, like in the NA League. And I was
And
just
just for clarity, Healbook is like a mix of Free Flow and some other people, right? Because
Yeah,
Len,
yeah.
I believe, played with Healbook, but Len is not on Free Flow officially.
Yeah. Len's like coaching them, that kind of vibe. But Len's been playing with them a lot more recently, like
Yes.
recently in a few Swimmer Sync specifically. So I'm always interested in that. They actually
crazy.
won Swimmer Sync this past week. It was like JJ Len off the top of my head. I was so excited that they were doing so well. They were up 2-0. I started making the winners graphic as they were still playing the 3rd game, and they won it. So on the prophecy, Pusheen Cat, yes. Oh, and Adapt.
Yeah.
Of course,
And
Adapt Pickle
Adapt.
Sunny. Yes,
Of course.
my goat. But yes,
Of course.
lots of folks like wait, and again, this just goes to show folks are grinding out other tournaments while playing in the NA League. Like
Bonkers.
do you ever sleep?
Bonkers.
Do you ever get tired?
Yeah, what is that? You start at 9 PST and then just keep going till what?
That's
also
too
9
early.
PM PST.
No,
That's crazy.
It's like a shift like when you're working like as like a nurse. I have like a big section of my family who are all nurses, and it's really sweet. And they're like, yeah, I can't go out today. I have a 20-hour shift and I have to be with the children, and also old men are screaming at me. That's kind of like Splatoon playing in the NA League if you think about it.
Clocking in.
Old men are screaming at you,
Clocking
and there's a lot of children. So
Punching the time card.
playing the NA League is kind of like punching in your time card, and you are a frontline healthcare worker.
Wow. An incredible comparison by Grace.
Of course, yes.
I see it.
Yeah, I can see the vision. Which this is kind of an offshoot, a little bit of a sidetrack, but I still just want to shout it out. Shout out to Free Flow. Free Flow is a group of all people of color.
Yeah, all black team, black excellence. Anytime they pop off,
Yes.
the entire Twitch chat of IPL, they're like, Black excellence. I love my Black kings. Like they're always
Yes.
popping off, and I love it. I love it so much.
I always have to like
That's
shout
awesome.
that out or make a note of that because it's like that is so important. And it's the
Mhm.
fact of the matter is that free flow has been only getting better. They've only been going up and up and up.
They have.
Just
And getting better.
insane.
So I just that's just really, it warms my heart. That is incredible.
Yeah, I was so excited by how they did in like Super Jump 5.
Yes.
When
Yes, exactly. Yes.
when we were doing promotions for Super Jump 6, we started doing like team spotlights, and I was like, I know who I want to spotlight. I want to spotlight Free Flow. And I remember usually for those I ask them for inspiration for the caption because there's stuff that I can find, but there's also stuff that they want me to highlight specifically. And I remember JJ was like, "Could you mention that we're an all black team?" And I was like, "Of course I can mention that." And
That's
I
like
remember
the
putting that in
first
the
thing.
caption. Yes, yes, and I was so excited to include them in that too. And they were so sweet at Riptide. Both Len and JJ so sweet. I think I hugged both of them. Yes.
Oh,
And we also
okay, wait.
interviewed both of them for also promo for Super. So I'm a very
Nice.
big fan.
I actually okay, I love that Moonlight. Okay, no, hold on. Go back to that bracket. Go back to that bracket. I love that Moonlight is the only one with an icon.
Wow.
Imagine being so iconic that when the Liquipedia bracket comes up, you're the only one that has an avatar, if you will. Everyone
And
else
that's
just
what we
has the three.
call branding.
Branding. Exactly.
They're like
Exactly.
orange
got it.
right now for Halloween, I think.
Which again, the branding is genius. And I feel like we've had this conversation in the community before of just like, where are all the official teams? Where are they? We
Wait.
got into pickup culture. Like we are so in the trenches of pickup culture, which let me be clear, there's nothing wrong with that. You get to play with whoever you want to play with, and that's your business. We all have free will. Reminder, you have free will. But it's one of those things where I do think about Valorant in this situation. We're going all over the place. I'm thinking about Valorant. So there's a team in Valorant called Turtle Troop. And Turtle Troop has been a team. CKK just chuckled. I know who I'm talking about. I know you know. And Turtle Troop has been a team in the Valorant sphere for a really long time. And they originally, I remember they advertised themselves as like the Squirtle Squad, but then they changed their branding because it's like, there's things with that. Yeah, thank you. We're talking about Valorant on the Splatoon beep show.
Yo.
But Turtle Troop
mention.
originally was branding themselves as like the Squirtle Squad, and then they changed it to the army helmet as a turtle shell. They changed it to make
Clever.
it regular.
That's so
super
cute.
clever. But like they are a staple. Turtle Troop to Valorant is like, see, look at Turtle Squad. Turtle Troop to Valorant is like Moonlight to us. And I'm going to make this comparison in the sense that like Moonlight brands themselves really well, but also they're a group of people that have been playing together for a long time, and they're all friends and they have a really good coach involved. And so I'm really hoping that with this NA League stuff, to tie it back, because I can do that, I'm going to tie it back. I'm hoping with this NA League stuff that people can kind of make that connection. We want to be like rooting for this team that we like know. And honestly, I feel like the people that are on the coattails of like this Moonlight branding, I want to say TZS.
Mm.
And that's not just because TZS has been a squad for a little while, but I also feel like TZS is putting in the work to like make a brand of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a feeling on the coattails of TZS, I feel like I'm seeing this maybe a little bit with Hypernova as of right now. I'm
with
hoping
K-Bot as their coach.
Right?
I see it.
With K-Bot as their coach, I'm seeing Hypernova kind of pick up on this as well. But also, there's members of Hypernova that participated in the LCS earlier this year. So it's like there's also that kind of like grassroots home battlefield like recognition coming out with Hypernova too. Because I believe, if I recall the roster of Hypernova, I believe Lexi is on that team. Please correct me. Yes, and Lexi was on the winning team at Gatorland, which is Florida Land, which is our broadcaster CKK. That is his land. So
That's his home turf.
That's his home turf. And so it's nice to see that it's nice to see these recognizable faces in the roster, because that I feel like makes the connection for the people that are maybe more involved in their local scene.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it's another way to kind of bring more people in to stuff, is recognizing those players. So my hope is that we see more team branding and camaraderie coming out of the NA League stuff. That's my
Yeah, yeah.
soapbox.
No, but you're so right
Period.
in that I'm seeing that happen a lot more too. I wanted to bring this up because when you mentioned branding, I don't know if like people have probably been talking about this and I just haven't seen it yet. But I don't know if somebody lit a fire under FT Win. Have y'all been seeing their posts lately on social?
Yes,
They
they
have,
have
player
been
profiles.
branding.
They have player
Branding.
profiles. I was like, what is going on? And I love it. Like it's really working for them. It's
They brought
going really
Shaq out of
well.
retirement.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
who else? I was like, I was gobsmacked because
My theory
Hexen.
is that Hexen is
yeah.
that's my theory, that Hexen is like, all right,
Oh,
boys,
that's so
Yeah.
true.
we're
That's
on
so
it.
true. Because
Look
I
at
was
that.
like it
It's
is
so
crazy.
good.
So like again, like the color rate, like you can see they even like they mix match the colors with which all of them are playing dualies, which made me laugh really really hard. They're all like, I've been playing dualies lately. Like, hello? It's
I know.
literally all of
No,
them.
you can see it. Matt, you can see it.
It's literally all.
That's
Okay, not Biscuit, not
funny.
Biscuit.
Except for Biscuit. Yeah.
Or Sam. Sorry. Sorry about that, Sam. But
And Kyo. Yeah, we see you. We see you.
but yeah, it was just it's so cool, and it all started with eventually CKK is gonna get the community Discord super cute too. I love when folks do that. But CKK is gonna get to it. It started with giving us replay codes like following Super Jump, and I was like, y'all, this is this is so cool. And they had like a whole like sheet going, also congruent with their branding.
That's so cool.
Like they have like branding colors. They have like a whole thing. Like, look at this. Look at these graphics are beautiful. Like I was like, this is giving
oh my
esports.
gosh.
Like this is giving
Whoa.
esports branding. Like this is crazy, and also really huge coming from FT Win in particular.
Yeah.
Totally.
Listen. I'm not on the socials much anymore. I'm a very busy gal. So when I'm on the socials, usually it's literally like a 2-minute scroll and then I'm done. My blue sky hours on my phone
Good.
is like a 0.
Good.
So terrible for branding on my end. But I want to make I want to make this point, because even someone like me who is like terminally offline in the Splatoon community, that is one of the first things I see. And the key thing is engagement. That's what they're leaning into. It's like, okay, how do we engage the community? These like replay codes, these like team sheets, these intro cards, like, you know, some of these people might not remember Shaq if they're newer, right? In the last couple of years. Like, this is all to connect with the community and engage with people. And it's nice. I feel like, oh, okay, great. You guys are like here. This is awesome. Like, I love it. I don't know. It's great. I think it's just great.
Well, it's
No, it
not
is.
just that, but it's also the fact of the matter is that, and it literally, if we go back to those graphics, like the very top graphic on FT Win's B Sky, 7-time champion, North American champion.
That's all you got to say. It's
Period.
like you're just clocked, like clocked.
But it's like it's experiment. Experiment. It's experience. It's people that have been around for a long time, and they're still committing that time, and they're still committing to try to like let people know who they are. Which and like for people that have been around for such a long time, and there's so many other lower level teams that also do this, that have been around. And the one team I need to mention about this is the Whip Rays. The Whip Rays at
Yeah.
Riptide, they
The
had
merch.
so much merchandise that people were wearing.
Yes.
And like just think about that for a second. This is a Division 5 Splatoon team. Again, remember our Splatoon bubble is this big in the world. Like we're this big. We're this big in terms of the world. We're very small. But like you have this team that has been around for as long as the Whip Rays have, and they're making merch. They have hats, they have
Wild.
jerseys, they have shirts. Like they have things that you can wear for their team, and like they're still going. They're still going, and they've been a team. So that's a long time. It's a long time.
It's wild. It's great stuff to see, though. Like, you want to see that and feel like you're connected with the teams in the community, whether it be, you know, the 17-time North American champion or that really fun Div 5 team that's just like, God, you guys are so cool. I just want to root for you. Like, you guys are fun. You know, it's great. Like, we need more of that engagement, and like, this is like a whole other topic. That's like a whole, like, I think that should be another episode of Beep, is talking about like how to engage with people in the community. And Beep is a great example of that too. We're doing it right here, right now.
And it's such a special thing to hear teams like put in that effort. And so to circle it back, I'm just really glad to see folks like FT Win who are really like the veterans of the top level. They're the veterans of all of this. And honestly, case in point goes to show that they got third at Riptide. Like the group, the five group got like was able to beat them. And then also you have like Voilacti, which is Milky Way in French, for those of you that don't know. Voilacti came in and also was able to beat them and triumph throughout the tournament. But like FT Win is like the Titans of industry, and they got knocked down to the third place mark. And to be fair, I believe it was Riptide. It was either at LTC. No, not LTC 24. That was Starburst. Riptide, I believe 24. It was FT Win versus like Crush Soda, or versus like the 5 group, and 5 got second.
Correct.
And so to see those people shift the narrative and come back the next year and beat them and force FT Win into the third place spot is pretty incredible. And even if you look at the bracket right now from the first week, which I mentioned earlier, 5 is at the top. That's the Crush Soda group. That's the group that got second to FT Win in 24. So it's amazing the difference that you can make in a year when you commit the practice and the patience and the time, and you can show up in a literal world stage. Like let's be honest. Like, yes, America is really paying attention to this NA League right now, but so are the other players around the world. They're keeping an eye on us right now with this, and they're paying attention. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Gray is playing in this tournament, and he is like. And actually, I'm not sure. Let me correct that. I'm not sure on Gray's pronouns, so I'll say they here. I'm pretty sure Gray is. I heard this could also totally be a rumor. So, girls, please correct me if I'm wrong. CKK.
Rumors spreading.
Yes,
Rumor
I do
mill.
not. I do not want to spread misinformation, but I did hear a story that Gray was staying temporarily in the U.S. to play in this league.
What?
Oh, whoa! That is.
Oh, okay. I got confirmation. I don't think he was able to follow through. But that just goes to show
Wow.
that other nations are like, this is an incredible opportunity.
Yeah.
This is an incredible opportunity to participate. And like, yeah, if that was fake information and false, that is fine. I think the point I'm just trying to make is that people are really paying attention to this. There's a lot of eyes on this. And I'd like to think that there is like area cup level paying attention to this.
I agree. This is very area cup days. Like back when that was like a really big thing from a couple years ago.
Which I'd argue
I
it
agree.
still is, in a way. I'd argue it still kind of is. But I just feel like, to agree, it's like on the same vein. Like there's a lot of eyes on this. Which is really cool, and that feels good to like have the world stage, which goes to show, actually, if we're gonna go switch back to talking about In the Zone, the most recent In the Zone that just happened, a lot of the talent that played in that was European talent, because all of the NA folks are focused on the league right now.
Well, that's
It's
true.
crazy.
Huh?
So it's just really interesting to see how that, I guess, like the participation in some of these tournaments has shifted when there's something on the table like NA League.
Yeah, that's a good point to bring up. Didn't even think about that.
I think we need to start paying attention to in the zone a lot more. Like all these NA teams are that's what like the endurance test, right? Like all the NA teams are going to be like testing their endurance and their stability over in the NA league. The other powerhouses that just simply are just not in NA are going to find other alternatives. That one of those alternatives are shining through is going to be in the zone. Like this is something that like people really need to keep their eyes on top of the NA league. And I think that's a great way to show like the engagement globally for Splatoon. Like we could be so engaged in both realms, you know, here in North America and over there in Europe. It's incredible.
Yeah, that also reminds me of like the Send Out Queue finale, which I think it's going to be happening like at the end of November. So I'd be interested to see how folks kind of stack up against each other. Also with Super Jump 7, like at in the beginning of December too. Like we're gonna be seeing.
Oh geez, there's a lot.
There's a lot happening, which is
yeah.
a good problem to have. But
Also a lot of Splatoon.
many
Once
Splatoons
again.
all the time. And it's gonna be interesting. I remember like, you know, PXG is always just such a huge juggernaut. Like they've been sweeping Super Jump. They're so good at the Send Out Queue finale as well. And you know, the classic Gray. So it's like like Mizuno said, keeping an eye on other stuff that aren't directly in the spotlight too. Like you're gonna miss some stuff if you don't keep an eye on some other events sideline a little bit.
And to offshoot from that as well, there's a really big LAN coming up in the EU Oktoberfest.
Yes.
Which is also very exciting because there is a lot of folks in the EU that are going to participate in this LAN. So I know we're talking about NA League and that's what it says, but I just want to point out that I feel like there is a lot of inspiration that has come out to like really influence the EU scene to be like, we need the same traction that of what America is doing with all of their locals, with all of their big majors. And like the fact of the matter is that we have had multiple people fly out to our lands from other nations. And I'm not talking about just Canada, because like I see you guys out there. I know you Canadians do make your effort. You get your flowers for coming out to us. But I'm talking about people that are across the pond from us. There are people across the pond that make it a point to fly out to our lands. And so the fact that Oktoberfest is coming up and there's a lot of different EU talent showing up to Oktoberfest is also extremely exciting. And I'm hoping that them showcasing their talent in a big land like that will get them a similar result to what we have with the NA League. I'm hoping that they have players and they have people on their team over there that also want to do what the NA League has done. They have people that want to encourage that as well.
Yeah, I mean, talking about women in esports, the beloved, ever so beloved Alice from Dapple Productions, amazing TO who has been in the so long, like huge backbone. If you don't know Alice, you have to love her. I know, I think she's said this a few times as well. Like she's friendly with Nintendo reps from over that side of the pond, like in EU. So I feel like if they can show like, hey, we're still around, look at this really cool land that we're doing. Like we know Nintendo was at Riptide because they showed off that they were there in all of their videos, that they did a bunch of interviews and shot a bunch of footage as well. So maybe Nintendo EU would also do that for these EU lands too. Like that would be super cool.
That'd be really cool.
And I'm hoping that like they can get the same type of, I guess, like atmosphere. They can achieve the same type of atmosphere for where the Big N will look at them and be like, hey, like we need to pay attention to this. We need to be looking at this because this is really important. And kind of actually to pivot back to our league here, and also to pivot back to women, obviously.
It all comes back to women.
It all does. It all does. I do want to talk about our main 4 panelists that are involved in this league, kind of our MCs, if you will. So we have Jordan, we have Zach, we have Nine, and then we have Mel. Mel
Big
being
money.
the one, yeah, big money. Mel being the one to kind of represent, honestly, a lot of us. It's not just like us here sitting on this panel. Like it's a lot of other women. It's a lot of other like femme presenting. It's a lot of like in some cases non-binary. Like it's a lot of people. I feel like that Mel is like kind of has on her shoulders that she gets to represent in this league, and like that's a really powerful thing to get to do.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that we get to work with like all these people is very special. But also like another person that has put in a lot of curation, a lot of time, a lot of careful bricks were placed in order to be like involved in this. And so I appreciate that they have somebody like Mel on that team who has like showcased the work that she's done to get there, and the relationships and play and like things that she's gotten to put together in order to be involved and like how much she cares. And so I'm hoping to see a mirror of that in the EU scene. And I hope that like Oktoberfest might just be like the budding effort of that. Like I'm sure, like I know that they've done more. Like we had Breeze, and like Breeze was pretty successful, I believe, in 24 or 23. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but Breeze was also very successful. And so I'm hoping that Oktoberfest can kind of bring that same kind of energy for the EU scene as well.
Yeah, I feel like I've been kind of out of touch with the EU scene. Like I'm like, I don't know, I just don't really recognize players as much anymore in particular in EU, or like know who's on which team from the EU of the players that I do know. So yeah, I agree. Hopefully Oktoberfest can help give that inspiration for more EU stuff to happen, because I like following that scene as well.
And talking about it here now matters. Even like I actually didn't know this was happening until today, which is great. That's important to know. That means, okay, great. We can have more people talking about it, hyping it up. Maybe there'll be collegiate teams there. Who knows?
I know you're like looking, you're like, hey, are you there?
Hello? The NSC folks, we have collegiate teams over there too. They have a whole other sphere there. So who knows how many teams are going to show up to this and what that representation could be. And that's really exciting to look forward to. Not just online, but at Oktoberfest. This is sick.
Totally.
100. So there's one more topic I want to touch on here. And that, in Mizuno, I feel like you can really kind of relate to this and speak on this a little bit more. Actually, Grace, you might be able to. With the CCA circuit.
Blue screen of death.
I know. I noticed that. I noticed like oh my gosh, and it froze on me in a very unsavory. Okay, wait. I think we're here.
We're back.
We're back.
We're so back.
We're
so
back.
Okay, I don't know what the last thing you heard was. I was trying to do a little bit of a segue, but I would love to talk about the CCA, the circuit, the second qualifier. I want to just kind of put that out there because that also recently happened and it's a big deal. And I would like for Mizuno to kind of, I don't know, start us off with this a little bit. And also explain for the people at home, the casual listener, and maybe us as well. What is this? What is that?
Yes, the lay of the land. So the CCA runs like in a typical like collegiate academic year, a fall semester long event and a spring semester long event. For this fall semester, we have elected to bring back our circuit. So collegiate teams will sign up to play in a series of qualifiers to garner points to qualify at the end for a circuit finals weekend that is 2 days long at the first week of December, which is super exciting. We have leveled up, as I would say, our previous circuit iteration, where we are having folks play. We're introducing 6 qualifier events that teams can elect to play into to garner points, and they're split right in half. So the first 3 qualifiers will happen, and then we take a week-long break for a transfer window, a la collegiate sports, and then the second split where teams will have another go if they haven't qualified already. So, as Saf said, we've had qualifier number 2 under our belts, and teams are garnering enough points to actually qualify already. So they have basically sealed their ticket to show up in December for our circuit finals event. So as our lovely producer CKK is pulling up the bracket here, qualifier 2 is basic. The story there is that, first of all, it ran successfully on Sendu.inc. The first qualifier was, to be blunt, an absolute disaster, but we've recovered. It still ran an hour and a half late. And the second qualifier was basically a testament to, all right, we fixed things. This is great. But the big story, I think, for the qualifier is that multiple teams basically stamped their ticket way over to the circuit finals across all 5 of our divisions. So we actually had multiple teams in each division receive the same placings that they did in qualifier 1. So, oh, perfect. This is division 1. Beautiful. So the big team that everyone is talking about today is Virginia Commonwealth University, VCU. This team is stacked for a collegiate team. It's unprecedented. You have folks from the previous season's VCU team, Lux and Fox together, who are very experienced players, and you've probably seen them from Riptide. They are back with 2 new players on this VCU roster, and the names are going to throw you back. It's crazy. Havoc and Thunder.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
I am being dead serious. Yes. So Havoc was actually technically on the previous semester's VCU roster, but they were on and off. So we didn't always okay, they were there, but not. But no, now Havoc is locked in with, then, Thunder is also just casually at the same university as well. So everyone just said, all right, let's do it. And thus came Las Criaturas, and they are a storm to reckon with. Basically, Div 1, the outlook is who can topple Las Criaturas. And thankfully, there are a couple contenders that have at least started up a fight. UT Austin, they just premiered in their first qualifier, in qualifier 2, and took them on, but were not able to take them down and achieve second. Florida, Death Roll, they actually placed third because VCU took them down in semifinals and sent them to third place, which is actually, funnily enough, a replay match from the first qualifier. So you can start to see some of these threads coming on of okay, Death Roll took them on and failed twice. This Daybreak UT Austin team took them on, failed. Heading to qualifier 3, who's going to be up next to do so? We're slowly starting to run out of contenders to try to topple this Las Criaturas team. So this is a very interesting qualifier to watch in just Div 1 alone, just because you're going to see all these different teams just go at it. And it's a crazy fun watch. So the next one is coming up here next Sunday. So I highly recommend for folks who haven't tuned in already to do so this weekend.
And Lux is also a part of Big Fat Sea Cows, right? So they're coming in from Las Criaturas, from Big Fat. Wow. Okay. So a lot of experience. Once again, a lot of experience on this team. The Havoc really surprised me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that just goes to show of it all circles back to the question, right? Because we've all experienced this, right? I am not saying that this is a unique experience. This is not I've never had a unique experience. We've all gotten burnt out with this game in some way, where we're I can't. Just simply, I can't. Totally. I just need to step away. But the question always circles back of how do I get back involved and make this fun for me? And I wonder if for Havoc it was I'm going to play in the CCA.
I would like to think so. I would like to think so, because it's such a fun and unique experience. Grace also knows this as well from her time in Drexel as well. But playing on a collegiate team is simply different from playing in a typical Splatoon team. I think, Grace, you could attest to that, right?
Oh, 1000%. I mean, I've played with my one teammate, Turple. I've played with him, we're coming up on, multi-years. And it's not, okay, it's different because sometimes, when you're also, Splatoon at its core is a team game. So it's you get better together for a very long time. like you're stuck together.
And it's the best. It's truly like it's one of the best things too, because you are with this crew low key for life, but life in like college is like, it goes by in a flash. So it's like all of a sudden, like you have gone through like 2 academic years, and it's like you're still with them and having a blast, and you've seen so much. You see your teammates like in person, probably a couple times a week. Like you go get lunch, or like you go hang out. You don't even play Splatoon. You just chat, or like go to a cat cafe or something.
I didn't even think about that, but that's true.
Yeah.
No, like you would have team dinners, or like let's go out and celebrate our low ink band. That's what my collegiate team did. We got to like hold our band in like a little picture after getting ramen. Like you get to have those little experiences. So like, and I think that helps with like the team building chemistry aspect of like, do you actually mesh well as a team? Is it not just you guys awkwardly being like, hey, let's play the game. Okay. Great, that was fun. Bye. Right? It's like GG's, well played, bye. Like it's such a different experience. And I wonder, Sav, to your point, maybe Havoc saw this as like, like I'm sure they probably know their teammates, right? From being in person VCU. I would like to hope that this is all like circumstantial, but that's kind of the gimmick of collegiate is like, you're with these collegiate people who are like there, like they're probably like 2 blocks down the street from you.
Mm-hmm. Just like in college, you live next to all your best friends, and then suddenly that changes when you move home, and you're like, but wait, everyone
Where'd they go?
wanted to know, it was within 5 minutes of me. Like
Where'd they go?
And I to your point, Mizuno, I in my college career, I do wish that like my college had this. I think about it a lot. And as soon as I joined the CCA server, I put my tag in there of like what college I'm from. And I know that my college doesn't have a Splatoon team, but I'm like, I'll be a party of one. I'll represent. I'm fine with that.
Listen, you could pull a Falco though, because Falco is helping guide his University of Dayton team to playing their first like collegiate events coming up here, right?
I've thought about it with University of Washington. because University of Washington does have a Splatoon team. They have a club.
They have 3 teams. They have gold, silver, violet.
Girl,
what do you mean they don't have? You could easily just
that's
be
not
like,
my school. That's not my school. That's not my school.
Oh, that's not your school. I thought you implied that was your school. I was like, what do you mean? Washington is like
school. That's my rival school. If you know, you know. That's my rival school.
Oh God.
But I know, and I've thought about that too. I've thought about I'm like, how could I get involved with University of Washington? Like, first of all, do I have the capacity? Do I have the time?
Yes.
Also, there's no way I would feel confident in coaching. Like, yeah, I feel like you learn some stuff in commentary and like playing in competitive, but I'm like, I
don't think Falco's coaching though. Hold on, I don't want to speak on his behalf. I'll ask him later. But like it doesn't even have to be coaching. It could be like, bring him into the call.
Get him in here right now.
Get him in here.
Oh my God! But like, a lot of these like Dayton folks are brand new. I think they don't really have like an established thing there. So like, if this is their first gig, signing up for a CCA tournament is kind of tricky because there's extra barriers you have to go through to make sure this is a fair and equal tournament and it's competitive and students are competing. But point being, it's kind of hard to sign up for a tournament for the first time. You're bombarded with a lot of information. It's very difficult. So I am assuming, hopefully, that Falco, part of like being involved is to kind of help guide them through like, oh, here's how to think about like a scrim. Like, how do you scrim teams? People might not know right off the gun. So it's a great thing. Like, it's more like a mentorship.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a good word for it. Mentorship. I feel like I thought about that route, and then C Battle was born. So then we were like, you know what? Let's just invite everyone. let's just invite everyone. And always at C Battle, we have a lot of University of Washington representation. There's a lot of University of Washington students or alums.
Those collegiate teams, those collegiate players. They come.
which is really nice. And they talk about it on their campus, they talk about it in their club. And actually we collaborated with them on our 1-year anniversary event. We collaborated with the Husky Splatoon League, and Juani actually ran a salmon run side event for us.
That's so cool.
Which was very cool. And Avocado, who is also on the Husky Splatoon League team, also helped out with that. And so that was really nice to get to kind of collaborate with them and have that part of the community really come in and help us out with Sea Battle and participate in Sea Battle and make them feel like that they had a place in it and like have a part in it, and just the participation of it. Because it's like, I don't know, I feel like when it comes to a LAN, like especially a local, you want to bring in like as many people as you can that like makes sense, but also you have people that just like want to help.
Mm-hmm.
They want to help. They want to make it better. And like, I remember like my very first Sea Battle, me and my partner, shout out Stefan, me and my partner were running the stream by ourselves. And Stefan has no idea. Like he doesn't know
clue
how like the broadcasting side works. And I had to teach him like day of, I'm like, this is how you do this. This is how you switch this. This is how you use the dashboard. And it was just him and I running the stream. And then literally Mint Zero, who played in that event, came to the second one and was like, can I please help with broadcasting? And I was like, yes, please. It's really hard to do all of this by myself. And now Mint is like a phenomenal spec cammer. And also he helps me out with everything else under the sun. And it's him and I sitting on the broadcast desk most of the time together. And also shout out Jerian. Jerian also came in and helped us out a few times.
Jerian is wonderful. That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
he like
awesome.
he just made like a run where he just went to a bunch of locals, like literally West Coast. He had like a West Coast tour of Sunset Surge, us, and Booyah Bay, and he just like helped out with stuff. And it's like it's wonderful to kind of have that support. So it's appreciated to have somebody that is like dedicated to like wanting to help the grassroots folks kind of get their stuff running and like and tune it and like fine tune it a little bit. But obviously everybody has their own flavor and they want to keep stuff and like maybe not keep stuff that is suggested, and that's okay. And that's okay. But it's still nice to like get that type of commitment of people flying out for it.
It's just the support, like that's the show, the care to being there and to making it the best experience that you can, because you're all coming together for a very special, wonderful, wholesome thing, you know, and it's special.
Right. Okay, so I wanna say we have been gabbing for almost 2.5 hours.
Yep.
Which I appreciate. Thank you guys so much for this again. Wonderful figureheads in this community, experience-wise, personality-wise, people that have put in so much work to get to where they are. So I'd like to say maybe with some closing remarks of just things maybe that you'd want other women out there to know that like want to be you, and want to be you in the sense of like, I want to get into commentating, TOing, admin for an organization, maybe starting a LAN and being on a team that's starting a LAN. Grace, I'll start with you. And also please feel free to plug as well if you want. But more so just like a closing remark or message about all of this and just being in your position that you are as a woman.
Oh my goodness. I will start with an anecdote that the first time I ever picked out the commentators for the Send Out Q finale, I think it was this time last year, I didn't put any men on the mic. And that wasn't intentional. That wasn't intentional, but it was really funny.
They don't have to know. They don't have to know. They don't have to know.
Yeah, it wasn't intentional. It just kind of turned out that way. But that just goes to I'm trying to also say that I am always in women's corner. I will always take the any opportunity to uplift any women at all times. I mean, when the NA League was announced and when it was announced that everyone was collaborating with it, I made a post on Blue Sky and I was like, and I want to say, look at all the women. I love women. I just said something like that. No, exactly. And with that too, I mean, with women too, like don't be afraid to take up space and don't be afraid to be loud, and don't be afraid to be passionate, and say what you think. And just know that with me especially, I've been made to feel minimized, and I've been talked over, in my TO kind of history, and like my career, my TO career. But I'm still here, I'm still loud, and I'm not going anywhere. And that means something for women, and that can mean something for you too. So don't feel the need to put yourself in a box, and don't feel the need to be anyone else than who you want to be in the community, because you can do literally anything that you want to do.
Wow. I don't think
And
you could
another
top
thing.
that.
Yes, this is
Period. We should have ended on that. No, I was kidding.
this is my boat. The sobbing emoji really encapsulates everything. Yeah, I was so excited. I
Period.
woke up that morning and I was like, oh my I was so excited.
Oh my
Uh-huh.
God.
Marissa, same question. Please share.
Dang, how do I live up to that? That was so good. One thing I will kind of mirror off of what Grace was saying, don't be afraid to take up space, and don't be afraid to like speak loud. I think I went through a lot of things earlier on in the community where I did take up space and I did speak my mind, and then it kind of backfired on me, and a lot of the women in the community had my back. And I think nowadays it's so much safer. And so what Grace is saying is totally true. Don't be afraid if you want to be a commentator, a TO, a top player. Like, don't be afraid to go for that, because a lot of people nowadays will have your back. And no matter what happens, we're all going to be here for each other, I think. And yeah, if you put in the grind to get somewhere in the community, not only other community members will see it, but a lot of the other women and non-binary folks will see that, and just support you. We just automatically love to support each other. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Mizuno, what do you got?
I think if you have an idea that you want to bring to the table, you have a passion for something, you should do it. That is, I think, something that every time I think about, like, oh, when I did like leading Splatoon at Purdue, I was the only female officer, or like non-male officer on the board at one point during my career. Or, when I'm thinking about like our CCA staff and like that body, bring up your ideas and bring up your passion, and know that there are people in your corner. There's going to be people who will continue to empower, uplift, and support. And we're here for you, genuinely. It may not seem like that sometimes, maybe because sometimes there might be this wall or this hesitation to do so, and that's totally okay. I think there is still this openness of like, you can still come and reach out to people and be open to, hey, let's talk. I'd be happy to share my experience. Happy to support you because I went through the same thing. Let's find ways to break those barriers and just speak to each other. And I think we can help a lot of people see like, oh, what their true potential is, not just in Splatoon, but just in general. I think that's my takeaway. Saf, what are your parting thoughts?
I loved everything that was said, because like Rissa said, how do I follow that up? Yes, just take risks. Take risks, even if it doesn't work out, and like your idea doesn't work. There's been so many tournaments, organizations, things that have flopped. And for whatever reason, they flop. And like, just don't be afraid to take risks. Don't be afraid of the failure before you even start.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got to just do things. And like, if we didn't do things while we were scared, we wouldn't do anything at all. Like, a lot of things are really nerve-wracking, and a lot of things scare us, but it's like, you got to take the steps forward to do that. And especially in a space where maybe that you are the minority in that space. And even sometimes with opinion, like, even if your opinion maybe might not be the best, and I am referring to like our sphere here in Splatoon. I'm not referring to the broader sense. But even if like maybe you have an idea or opinion that you might not think will land well, it's like, we'll just still take that risk, bring it up. because people like to collaborate here. And they like to create new things. This community is so capable of so many things, and like it's created so many things, which by the way, a lot of people do this stuff for free. Like we talk about that a lot. A lot of people do this stuff for free. And it's the same, it's no different with a lot of like the women and other people that communicate and participate in all of this. So don't be afraid to step up. Don't be afraid to be loud. Don't be afraid to bring your ideas to the table. And also don't be afraid to reach out to people. Like, don't be afraid of that. Ask people how they got to where they are. Ask people how they improved their craft. Ask people the steps that they took to try to get better at whatever it is that they're doing, TOing, commentating, organizing a LAN. Like, ask these people how they did it and how they got the confidence to do it. And just know that, like, a lot of us starting in this, we're also very nervous. And we're like, how is this going to land? How am I going to present myself? How am I going to fit into the space? How do I fit into this mold and make it my own? And also make friends. So don't be afraid to do that. That's my final thoughts. But you guys, wow, this has been so nice. Thank you. We had a little bit of a script to go into more depth on things. I know that Beep is a little bit more analytical, but I feel like this topic, and we did touch on some things, okay, for those of you out there that needed some stuff, we did touch on some things, but I feel like that this topic in particular was really important to talk about, because you guys need to know that also in a lot of these higher up spheres, there are a lot of women involved in a lot of this idea making, tournament organizing, people that run your events for you and put this stuff together. A lot of those people are women. And so if you are out there and you are femme presenting woman, whatever, and you want to get involved in this stuff, just know that we are here. We see you. And you can do it, and it's okay. And you can succeed in your own way.
Well said. Bravo.
This is Beep. This is Broadcast Esports Every Play. I don't know if anybody would like the floor to plug yourselves. You absolutely can. Our socials are here. Grace, I'd like to turn it back around and start with you. Please, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Blue Sky. I don't use Twitter anymore, really. I'm like a chronic liker and stalker of stuff on Blue Sky. Like, if you look at my profile, it's like blank, but it's Tubnug B Sky Social. Like, you know the thing. Also, IPL is really cool. You should totally check it out and play in Swimmer Sync. But Rissa, hurry! We have to raid Vicville. We have to.
Oh my gosh! That's me. That's me. Rissa. That's me. Rissa. Hi. Blue Sky and Twitter. That's it. Mizuno's turn.
My turn. Keeping it short. MIZU-N0. But I think more importantly, CCA Splatoon. Please follow CCA Splatoon. We got a lot going on. Staff, your turn. We got to get it going. Go.
True. Okay. First of all, don't find me. That's my quote. Don't find me anywhere, please. I don't want to be found. Go learn about mushrooms, learn about the plants where you live, because plants and animals and things in the nature is really important. Check out Splatoon Tourney. Oh, fuck it. I'll plug Splatoon Tourney. Excuse me. Screw it. I'll plug Splatoon Tourney. Sorry. Splatoon Tourney and Beep makes me really passionate. I'm so sorry, CKK. That one just kind of slipped out at the end there. I love women. I appreciate you guys so much. I appreciate the staff at Beep. Thank you for having us on. Broadcast Esports Every Play. This was Boys EU Estrogen Please edition. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.